Hey everybody, this is Jay Lethal, also known as the Black Machismo, and I thought about calling myself the Black Nate, but nonetheless, whatever my name is, you are listening to Houston Wrestling Radio.
What up, what up, what up? This is HWR Ring of Honor Superstar, and let you know that I am in tune with Houston's Wrestling Radio. Let you know that it's over 9,000!
Fuck, I don't have anything catchy to start off the show with this time.
Well, we'll think of something.
Well, there we go. There's our intro. Abel, whenever you're ready.
God damn it. Are we really going to keep all this in this time?
Sure.
Nobody's listening anyways.
I bet people have asked you that question all the time.
No, yeah. Alright, let's... I'm going to edit this out.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You brought it upon yourself.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Whatever, shut up. Let me do the intro. Alright. God damn it, you made me choke.
Said no woman ever.
Oh. Really? You had to go that far through all that
on the
trouble.
computer. You want me to do it on the computer? Travis, you want me to do it on the computer?
No, you did fine. You did fine.
Oh my god.
Where do you want me to finish, Travis?
On his face.
No, what? Why me?
Again, said no woman ever.
Hello and welcome everyone to the 40th edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
This is Travis.
And as you can all tell, we still have Chris here with us, and he's causing all kinds of ruckus, disturbing the peace.
And we love him for it.
Thank you, thank you.
Making himself laugh and almost spitting water on the computer.
It happens.
Oh shit. Okay. Are we really gonna keep this?
Might as well. Yeah, sure. Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
Alright, there we go. So a full
It's behind the scenes look at HWR over here.
yes, a full 1 minute behind the scenes of us bullshitting around. And
Dude, this is like 2 minutes, man. We're like past the minute mark.
Oh man. Okay, well thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And yeah, our show's deteriorating here. Sorry. So
Thank
I'm
you if
sorry.
you're still tuned in.
Yeah.
How can you not be tuning into this, man? This is genius.
It's different, I'll give you that.
So, thank you so much for, like I said, tuning in, whether you're listening to us on our website, HoustonWrestlingRadio.com, or if you downloaded us off of iTunes, or if you're taking us on the go on your iPhone or Android phone on Stitcher Radio, on the Stitcher Radio app. What am I forgetting? YouTube. That's right, YouTube. We have one of those things.
Show our YouTube page some love, people.
Yes, it's looking very pitiful nowadays. Yeah, so we need a...
It's a lot of work to put those videos up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd appreciate if people actually looked at them.
Oh, Travis is saying this because Travis is the one that puts up the stuff on YouTube.
Yep.
I could care less. As long as you listen, I don't care if it's on YouTube or on HoustonWrestlingRadio.com. But Travis wants
Well, if you don't care, how do you expect the people to care?
Oh, there you go.
That's right. I put it up.
Way to start the TNA conversation.
That is a good segue. It's just like TNA here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. So let's talk about Impact.
No, dang old boo, man.
That dang old Impact right there. Get on. Go.
Dirt is dirt.
All right. Chris, you started out when we were talking and going over our pre-show, warm-ups and whatnot. We were talking about Mickie James there for a little bit. You brought her up. What do you want to say about her?
Oh, hey, that's me. Okay.
Yeah, that's you, Chris.
Yeah. I thought that was a real good promo. Number one.
Yeah.
Multiplied by the fact that she was probably scared shitless up there. High heels, having the belt, one arm on the ladder. She literally climbed to the top.
The other arm with a mic.
And the other arm with the mic. Yeah, she looked like she had her hands full.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She's a pro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've seen the pictures. But yeah, with all things considered, I think she did a really good job up there. She as a heel, it's not really easy to put over your competition and still look like a heel. She did that really well, and I think that her climbing the ladder and building up the ladder match that's coming up on the next episode between what could be the number one contender and her, she did a really good job.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And then when she started walking the ladder, I was like, she ain't gonna climb that ladder in those heels. And then I was like, oh wait, she is. Oh crap! And then I saw what you had noticed, that she was kind of struggling to keep her balance. Her legs were kind of shaking or whatever, and she was kind of nervous about being up there, but she still pulled it off. I think that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Whenever I try to wear high heels, I can't walk around, so. And she went up a ladder.
So you're jealous, pretty much.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Heel toe.
That bitch.
That ladder having ass bitch.
Ladder having ass bitch.
Yeah, I saw the short black guy midget dude with the comedy movie.
Cat Williams?
Kevin
Hart.
Yeah.
I saw that movie, and he does a lot of that, so that kind of just popped up.
Oh, didn't you? You posted something on Facebook over the weekend, didn't you? You watched a lot of stuff this weekend, didn't you?
Oh God, yeah. I regret it.
You regret it?
I saw Kevin. My ass was numb. I know you're gonna have fun editing. You're gonna have fun editing.
Abel's gonna put that on loop and just listen to that over and over again.
And he's gonna keep saying, "Oh, we have so much in common."
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kevin James movie.
Kevin
Hart.
That guy. See how I get him confused?
Yes.
Can you tell? Yeah, because one can eat the other.
Yeah.
It had a lot of that.
Chocolate.
And that's our Mickey James talk.
Okay.
So you watched a lot of stuff, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hangover 3, G.I. Joe 2. I hadn't seen Hangover 3, and I don't know if you guys saw it.
No,
I
I
haven't seen it.
never watched part 2. Yeah.
Don't.
That bad?
Yeah. The first two movies was so much comedy, and then this third movie it didn't have the same feel at all.
Really?
It was just a really off movie. There were times, if you wanted to compare it to wrestling, there were times where the guys didn't look like they wanted to be there.
Gotcha.
You can get that vibe from some of the parts of the movie.
Okay. You know what I saw this weekend? It was pretty good. I was surprised. White House Down. With Jamie Foxx and what's his name?
Oh, you wanted him to chanting all over your Tatum?
Jeez.
I know that's why you saw it. It's all right.
Yeah,
Did you make that up on your own just now?
Like 80 people posted that on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I had to use it. So
No, okay.
I was gonna say, that was pretty good.
If you thought it
That was
on the
a
fly.
professional. That was professional.
Professional.
Yeah.
But he did not
Yes.
think of that on the
Comedians
fly.
steal everybody else's
Yeah,
shit.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not a comedian. You're just a funny dude.
I'll take that. I gotta start somewhere. Fuck.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's how comedians get started.
Yeah.
You're just a funny guy. You're not a comedian.
Yeah.
Now, do that shit. That's not gonna get you anywhere.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the voice. Like,
Okay. God, we're just like bullshitting around this episode. All right. So anything else? Travis, did you want to say anything about Mickey James and her little promo?
No.
Okay. So shall we move on?
She looked good doing it.
yeah.
Well, it's Mickey James, of course.
I will say, ever since she came back, I think that's probably the best shape she's looked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked in.
Yeah, or whatever. You know what I mean.
Okay.
Asshole. Like she's lost weight, got into shape. She's
Yeah.
looking good.
She is. I mean, I agree. Yeah, she looks good.
Tiger baby.
Riveting commentary.
I bring the rivets.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, three dudes.
We bring the crickets.
Three dudes sitting around a microphone fantasizing about Mickey James. Yes, this is riveting radio here. Oh man,
Are you finished over there?
Almost.
that was disgusting.
You'll hear
Chris.
it when I'm finished.
Oh,
God.
And it won't be this.
Screw
Part 3
Screw you
of an
guys.
inside joke that no one will ever understand.
All right, so let's move on to a different promo from Impact. Let's
I
talk
thought he was going
about.
to say different porno.
And why are we going to do that, Chris?
Mickey James.
Oh, okay.
Mickey James.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
no.
Try to say
No.
topic.
Yes.
Let's get off Mickey James.
Yes. Oh no!
Well played, sir.
I'm not nearly tired enough for that. Okay. Let's talk
Neither
about.
was she.
Can we please move on?
I'm trying to. You just keep going back to Mickey James.
Can we?
On her face. Okay.
Oh,
so,
jeez. Ah.
I would like to take a moment to thank the women that listen to this podcast that have to put up with three guys talking all this crap about women.
Yeah, indeed. So,
Thank you
those of you that
for
are
the
out
support
there,
that you have given us so far, and if you don't give us any more, we understand.
yeah, we get it.
Blame Abel.
We're used to the sausage fest.
Why
No.
are you blaming me?
It's your show, man.
Yeah, but he's the one who started it.
Yeah, but well, he's just a guest. You can't blame the guest.
Yes, I can.
Well, if you're an asshole, you can.
Damn guest.
Now, the hell.
I'll take the blame. Sure, why not? I'm a Mexican. I'll take the blame. You know?
I'll take anything if it's not nailed down to the floor.
Okay.
That's what I did on my computer last week. Okay.
Jesus. Can we get to Magnus now?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, Magnus is in the main event Mafia now.
Okay.
I don't think that's even a big surprise either. I mean, yeah, he wasn't in the first iteration of the main event Mafia, but
No. Well, we're just slowly turning this group. Instead of main event, I guess you could say main event Mafia sounds better than group of dudes who has a beef with aces and eights. There's not an acronym for that. So they have to say, main event Mafia. Why not? Because this is what's going to be. This is going to be just a group of guys that's been having problems with aces and eights.
yeah. And going to Chris's point from a couple of weeks ago, the guys that are in the main event Mafia are the same guys that didn't help Sting in the first place that
Right.
wanted Sting to make the main event Mafia. I mean, Magnus, like, he's one of those he's like,
Everybody is. All these people are. Yeah.
all of them are. And the whole point for this main event Mafia, for it to work under the premise that Sting wanted to get people that were not the people that didn't help him, in order for that to work, he should have gone out and found other people, some of the gut check guys, or, something like that, and made a completely new stable. But no, he's just getting the same quote-unquote Team TNA guys that left him high and dry in the first place. So that, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we talked about this. Chris brought it up, like I said, a couple of weeks ago. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's just play devil's advocate here, and we'll say we can't change what's been done. We can't change Sting's promo where he said, "Oh, nobody helped me," but here's these guys who didn't help me. I want to want them to join me. So besides that,
Here's these guys that didn't help me.
besides that, where do you like the group itself so far? I mean, are we liking the group as a stable right now, or what needs to change? What can they do to make it better if it's not good right now?
They need to wrestle, first off.
Well, we've seen a wrestle.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I don't mind Joe. I don't mind Magnus. Kurt, whatever. He's good, but he's kind of towards the end of his career, and I don't, I'm not as much of a Kurt Angle fan as I used to be. Let's put it that way.
I like and respect him, but he's been there.
I don't get excited for Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I
got you.
Like how I do for Mickey James.
Yeah.
And,
Need a towel over there, son?
not yet! Okay. Anyway. Where are you going? Thanks.
Kleenex, just for you. Just let us know when you're going to use it so we'll close our eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
All
Just
right.
excuse yourself, okay?
Lucky we're wearing glasses, so if anything squirts out, we can at least keep our vision. Like goggles.
My eyes. The goggles do nothing.
Oh, Jesus. Okay,
Fucking Fallout Boy, the bastard. Kick his ass.
So I don't know. I mean, the group is okay so far from what I could tell, but they've just been walking around in suits and just saying, "Hey, we're the main event Mafia. Here's the new member." Blah blah blah, and it's like not exciting when you see who the main event Mafia members are, because there's no surprises with it. They don't have that element of surprise that we've always said is a big element in the world of wrestling. But all that being said, Chris, you were saying earlier that you thought this promo by Magnus was a pretty good promo.
Man, we've seen the first three members of the main event Mafia already. We know what they do. We know what they've done. We have an idea of what's left in their tank. Sting's already far off of his career. Kurt Angle's almost at the end. Joe's a sad case. Really.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
They could have done so much with Joe at TNA, period.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything is ever going to recover where Samoa Joe used to be, or where he could be. We've all had our disagreements about why they're making the group up or whatever, but if it's going to put a spotlight on Magnus, he took advantage of it full blast on the episode. His promo the way he got introduced, number one, how they said that facts are facts. He's up on the leaderboard right now in the tournament.
Yep.
You know, he's already shown enough in the ring for them to warrant that they think he's the future of TNA. Bringing him out that way was a great start, and Magnus just picked up the ball and went with it. The promo, he not only put over himself and why he belongs in there, put over all three guys in the group. He pretty much made the group important. He did that. You know, we talked about all the smack about how we didn't like the group in the beginning when Sting was about to make it. I think Magnus won me over. At least for a week. At least to see where it goes. Because usually with groups, there's usually one or two guys that the purpose of the group is to make this guy stand out to where when the group is over, this guy is going to be the one you need to follow. Mm-hmm. And everyone else has already done their time. Magnus is the new guy in the group. He's the one that they're spotlighting, and he did a damn good job. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Are we seeing some parallels between Main Event Mafia and Evolution? Past, present, future?
Maybe, but I don't think that this is all the members that we're going to see for the Main Event Mafia. Taz even said it himself while on commentary. He said something about, well, they need more guys. I mean, he was kind of saying that tongue-in-cheek and playing the Taz character, you know, because like, well, Aces Eights have, you know, we have more people, so
that's another thing. How big is Main Event Mafia? How big is it going to get?
I don't know. I mean, if your sole purpose is to take out the Aces and Eights, you would need at least the same amount of people as an Aces and Eights. And how many people are in there? Let's see. There's Bully, Devon,
Anderson.
Anderson, Doc, Nux, Briscoe, and Bischoff. And not D'Lo anymore, I guess.
No, so we'll count that as 7.
7, and not counting Taz. So yeah, okay. 7.
So
you could probably take away Doc. I'm sure next week, aren't they doing something with him and they're going to vote for the VP or whatever? Yeah. I'm sure he's going to lose and that's going to get him kicked out or some bullshit.
Okay, well 6.
Yeah,
that's still a lot of people to add, you know, and to rival them. I mean, right now you just have 4. 4 on 6, that sounds a little bit better, but
assuming that you have a spot open for one more, who would you guys pick?
For Aces and Eights or for Main Event
Mafia?
You know, I might be jumping ahead of myself here, and we could actually use this to transition, but I'm thinking Sabin. If Sabin winds up, you know, keeping the...
That could be good.
Yeah. I mean, if they get rid of which they did with Magnus, they get rid of the whole you have to be a former what do they call it? A former
champion.
Yeah, the former champion. Thank you. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that word, but you had to be a former TNA champion. If they get rid of that, which they seem like they already did with Magnus. Why not Sabin? Sabin's a face. Seems like everybody likes him. Everyone's behind him. You know, X Division champ.
But you know what?
Why not?
Magnus was temp with Samoa Joe tag champ for a while, so that might be why they got Magnus in there as a champion, kind of to like not necessarily break the rule.
Yeah.
Know? But Sabin could fit.
Yeah.
Just thought that was a height requirement.
Height requirements to me.
Can you picture Sabin in a suit?
From Baby Gap.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a suit, but you know, maybe he could pull it off.
I don't know. Magnus was looking kind of sharp, really.
Yeah, it was.
The visual actually does make does draw more attention that you got a bunch of guys in biker leather with vests on one side and the other side.
Versus a bunch of guys in suits. Cut. Yeah.
It does draw a better dynamic visually for someone's attention to get grabbed as opposed to, all right, we got these biker dudes and these topless dudes in underwear fighting, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Calm down, Abel. Jeez.
First the Mickey James chatter and now the topless guys. You need to pick a side.
Don't get him
Unless
started.
you're gonna cross the line. Oh, analogy, stupid.
Okay, so Sabin, I can see that. He's been, Bully's been picking on him last couple weeks, and he's
in line to fight Bully.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And they had, he had that good match on Impact, which I was going to say that was a match of the week candidate.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going to wind up going with that. Sabin versus Aries versus Manic.
With a K.
Manic with a K. With the effing K. Oh my god.
He's related to Relic.
Right, yes.
He's his cousin.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about this a little bit. Why Why? Why are we changing Suicide's name to Manic? What's the point?
I don't know. Probably his name's Suicide, and I don't know. It's
Yeah, but he's been Suicide for like 3-4 years. Why change it now?
because Austin Aries is Suicide.
They should have just kept it as TJ whatever.
Yeah, TJ,
and not wear a mask, because that part, if he's once a guy's already been unmasked.
Yeah, they already said it was him, and right when Hogan was introducing him, and he was like, "He's no longer Suicide, brother. We're giving him a new name." I'm like, okay, so we're just gonna call him TJ, and he's gonna come out with maybe like the suit without the mask, or like some sort of tights that maybe look the same as Suicide tights, but no, it's the exact same goddamn Suicide entire suit, except it doesn't say Suicide going down his leg there.
I figured they needed something to start with an M because he's got that big fucking M on his chest.
Yeah, that the weird logo that looks like an M. Yeah.
Well, it's because it's from Midway, whenever the game came out. And they just,
yeah, that's why. Well, but still,
He bought it. He freaking bought it.
yes, up top.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Chupon.
Right.
For all you white folk out there, that's Spanish for sucker.
Thank you.
God, I hate you guys. But what? I don't know. I just
We totally threw him off.
You're focusing on the negative. Manic, the name, stupid, retarded.
Right.
The positive.
Positive.
He got taken out 5 minutes into a triple threat
Yes.
match, and you got an X Division match you wanted to see.
a one-on-one X Division match
Yes.
that was pretty darn good. Austin Aries versus Chris Haven. Match of the week candidate.
Yep.
Definitely, I agree with you. You're Travis. He's Chris. Okay. Yes, Travis. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, match of the week candidate.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Abel.
There you go.
right.
There you go.
One dynamic that I don't know if you guys even thought about yet, because you got caught up on everything else.
We get distracted easily.
I can tell. I'm looking forward to see the divide of the main event Mafia.
The divide? What do you mean?
Because you've got Magnus and Samoa Joe in the Bound for Glory tournament. And eventually, sooner or later, if they're trying to get that top spot, the Mafia's going to have to choose one or the other. Or one chooses one and the other chooses the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But it's kind of soon for that, though. I mean, it just formed.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to start throwing monkey wrenches into that whole storyline this early. You know, because, like you said, it just formed.
Yeah, well, we were already hating it when it started.
Well, that's true.
You gotta find something to look forward to, you know.
Yeah.
And eventually, before the Bound for Glory, they're gonna have to have a match between each other.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to put that much, like, animosity between them. I think it's going to be more like, well, you know, one of you two guys will get the points, and whoever gets the points goes on, so just go out there and have a competitive match, and they go out there and put on a classic, and...
Until
you know,
Ace and Eights interferes, and nobody wins.
Yeah. Someone will get 2 points for a DQ win, and that's it.
No, it'll be double DQ. Because they'll both get attacked. Come on. Come on. This is easy. This is booking 101. Come on now.
Double DQ, will that mean that both competitors lose points then? Because don't you lose points for a DQ? There you go. Yeah, that.
I don't even know if you're right. I'm just agreeing because TNA will do that kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
No, I think
Rules don't mean anything. They'll change them for a
I
show.
think if you have a DQ loss, like if you get disqualified, it's minus 10 points. But if you're the one that wins because of DQ, you get plus 2.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hogan's gonna win this shit anyway. You guys
Last minute replacement.
God dang! I hope
10
Hogan
bowls
doesn't
of rice around, brother.
All right. I think that's it that I want to talk about specifically from Impact, from the show. But I want to talk about these other things that were in the news recently about TNA.
This is the good stuff.
So, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Let's take a moment to look at the screen to make sure we're still recording.
Yes, we're still recording so far. Don't jinx it.
Hijo
Don't even look at it.
Damn it, Chris.
What?
All right. There was a bunch of releases from TNA, and some of them were kind of surprising. Some of them were not so surprising or whatever.
Yeah,
but there was
apparently-
a couple there that I was scratching my head over.
Yeah, apparently TNA forgot they had to pay people. So they had to release some people to pay the people that they want to keep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me quickly go down the list here of who all has bit the dust in the past week. Crimson.
What are
What the hell are you doing?
Another Meister Dust? Okay, I got you.
All right. Okay. All right. Continue. Crimson, Taylor Hendricks, Christian York, Madison Rayne, Joey Ryan, and also recently Matt Morgan. Supposedly. Sam Shaw was also on that list, but then he wasn't on the list.
Right. That was a premature.
Yes.
Sam Shaw's the boomstick guy, right?
No, that's Bradley something.
Oh, okay.
Sam Shaw was the other gut check guy that didn't go anywhere. And had Sam Shaw stayed on that list, being released or whatever, I would have been okay with it. But the others on this list, I'm kind of scratching my head over. Most notably, Crimson and Joey Ryan. Crimson, because he just returned several weeks ago with a new look.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, was it? Yeah, with a new look and everything, and he was going to do all this shit, and then we didn't see him last week, and now he's released.
Right.
And then after he got released, he was on a TNA One Night Only pay-per-view that was airing.
Yeah.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, and a bunch of bullshit.
Which is funny, because on the pay-per-view, when he came out during the match, and it was a little gauntlet match, Battle Royal, Royal Rumble type thing, or every 2 minutes, whatever, and he came out, the fans were actually chanting, "Welcome back."
Welcome back, you're fired.
Oh, man.
Welcome to TNA.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of was looking forward to this new iteration of Crimson.
He actually cut a promo.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a different look. I kind of wanted to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, maybe they got. Maybe they're going somewhere with this guy. Let's give it a chance. See what happens. Next week you're fired.
Unemployment line. What? Why? I don't get that.
He had a new gear and everything. It's like new everything. It's like
for anybody out there that doesn't know, they tape these 12 pay-per-views that they're airing every month. They tape these in the beginning of the year. So that's why a lot of these guys are coming out, and if there's something, and if anybody else gets laid off before these episodes air, you'll know why you see them. Yeah. So if anybody that doesn't know, now you know. Knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. Okay.
And apparently the other half involves red and blue lasers. I don't know.
All right. Thank you for that there, Chris.
Yeah.
All right. Joey Ryan, another one. Why? I mean, they spent so much time on his debut and getting him to come in and the 87%.
But that was like, attacking... 6-8 months ago?
Yeah, but it lasted like 5 months.
Okay. In TNA time, that's like 10 years.
Okay.
It's like they spend like 2-3 weeks on just building up somebody. In their minds, they've done that for like a year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not too surprising. I mean, he did an interview recently, and he said, yeah, I mean, they did the thing with Matt Morgan when he came, when they did all that, but ever since then, I mean, they've used him sparingly. He hasn't really done anything with them. So when he got released, he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's a shame. I think they could have used him a little bit better, and his character was just so over the top.
It's ready to go. It's a ready to go gimmick. Yeah. They don't have to do anything with it.
They could have done so much with it by just booking them in simple feuds. Like, he would have made those feuds work, but they didn't even give him that. And I think that's more TNA's fault and TNA dropping the ball. I don't think he deserved to get released because, he wasn't a good talent or anything like that. I think TNA just effed up with him. And let
gimmick-wise, you could have easily compared Daniel Bryan's bushy beard against Joey Ryan's porno 80s stash any day of the week. Especially the way his character is and how his mannerisms, how he just came off across as he wants to fuck anything that moves.
Yeah.
You could have marketed that character so well, especially with the kind of audience they're trying to cater to that want that kind of character instead of just the PG stuff that's on the other side of the fence. Yeah. They could have done so much with him.
But nope.
At the very least, they could have brought back the 70s team. From Wrestling Society X.
Yeah.
Because he was hardcore in that fucking shit.
Yeah, he was.
The TNA version, he was watered down, actually. He was more sleazy than porn, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's
there's another one, another release, Madison Rayne. That was kind of a surprise,
Yeah, Madison Rayne was surprising. I mean, she is pregnant. I'm not sure when she's due.
I thought did she already have a baby?
No, she hasn't had the baby yet.
Oh,
she definitely hasn't had the baby yet. But she's out basically on maternity leave. And
perfect time to fire somebody.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she was fired. Chris, weren't you mentioning something that...
I think her contract expired and they just failed to renew it, or they chose not to renew it, so she just...
Didn't re-sign?
Yeah, just didn't re-sign.
Okay. Well, that's kind of understandable, I suppose. Just not re-signing. That's kind of on her as well because she didn't sign. But, I mean, still, wow, that's another big blow to the Knockouts division, which we were just talking about a couple of weeks ago. The Knockouts division is so depleted, I mean,
just compared to a couple years ago, they had all these excellent women wrestlers on in the roster. What happened?
I don't know. And, you're not going to be able to count on your developmental and count on your gut check knockout because, she's gone too. Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah. And what the heck happened to the gut check? I mean, that's just, what's the point? They just fired, two of them? Three? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I kind of, I know we didn't really see a whole lot of Taylor Hendricks. I understand that. But I kind of wanted to kind of see where they went with her because to me, she seemed like she was different, had a different character. She had that really thick Boston accent, and it was, I know you have that little, snarl on your face,
attractive.
but yeah, she was attractive.
Yeah.
She had a funny accent. So she was different. She could have, brought something different, not just been another blonde cookie cutter diva looking like chick. She was different. And I would have liked that to have been in the Knockouts division, but we're not going to see that.
Yeah.
So, just going down this list, I see so much potential that is there and it's not, and of course.
And TNA's the one, I don't know, major company that actually needs to be producing the new talent. Yeah. WWE's been doing a better job lately than producing new talent than TNA has.
Yeah, and if you would have asked me that a year ago, I would have been like, no, you're crazy. TNA is better at that stuff than WWE, but here we are, and who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, we're gonna I guess we'll get to that here in a minute.
We probably will.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad Christian York is gone. I'll be the first one to say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had the look, I guess. He had some kind of a look. He had history, being with TNA. But man, the matches I saw him in, he looked like he ran out of gas 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in. He had a match with RVD and it looked sloppy as shit. And it wasn't RVD's fault. You have to be a real kind of fuck to have a sloppy match with RVD.
Yeah.
And especially, neither one of you guys were there. Sorry. The lockdown pay-per-view in San Antonio where, he was awful. Well, it was awful.
No, we mentioned about that, when we first came back.
We were excited that he came out initially.
Well, we saw his matches and we noticed, there were spots that he just were sloppy. It's it took a while, he was off.
Yeah.
And sometimes
he was a half a step behind.
Yeah,
everybody,
that's what it was. And sometimes he would catch up.
Slow.
It would take half the match for him to get the ball rolling on,
I think I specifically remember critiquing one of his matches on the show here one time and saying that if he was going at the same pace as the other guy, that match would have been a 5-star match. Because he was doing all the moves and all the things that would have been badass.
But he's doing so slow.
Yeah, if he would have been on pace.
All his moves were set up very easily. He had to stop, almost literally stop what he was doing to do the move.
Yeah, and that could have just been age catching up to him.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a newcomer, quote unquote, to TNA, but he was really, an old vet,
I think the other problem was, I think they put him in the X division.
Yeah.
The kids in the X division were too fast for him.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't keep up with it. That's probably another reason why he got gassed so far.
They were trying to book him as an up-and-comer.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. He's older than half the fucking roster.
Yeah.
And, like you said, put him up against the young guys in the X division, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I had high hopes for him, but, after, I don't know, 3 weeks of seeing matches where he was kind of botching some things here and there, I was like, I don't know about this.
And they were, and I think you could actually see TNA give up on him. The first month or so he was in there, he was winning his matches.
It's I'm gonna fight Jeff Hardy, and I'm gonna fight RVD.
They were giving him big matches.
Yeah,
and then a month later, he's already jobbing to Jay Bradley, I think.
Yeah, or not on the card at all.
Yeah. Well, that's half the roster. Yeah.
Well, the biggest out of all these releases, I think, in my mind, and it was the one that was most recently, so I don't know if it was from the same batch of releases or if it was from a different reason, is Matt Morgan. I've always been a big Matt Morgan supporter, at least during TNA, not when he was in WWE, but I think he's significantly improved over the last couple of years. And I think that they could have done a lot of stuff with him, with this whole Aces and Eights thing, and him telling Hogan, "I told you so." And I thought that they could have really went somewhere with that, and maybe have him. I think we even talked about this on the show. Have him be the guy to actually step up, even though he's a heel, and take out the Aces and Eights. Like, I had this whole 6 weeks worth of booking planned in my own mind, revolving around Matt Morgan.
I was having him as the last member of Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
As the one that you got to keep an eye on, you know?
Yeah, and he tried to be in the original Main Event Mafia, right? Yeah,
he was trying to get recruited.
Yeah, and it never happened. But I thought that there was so much there for him and so much potential. But I feel the way about him the same way I feel about Joey Ryan. Ironically enough, they were tag partners there for a while, but I feel like they just kind of dropped the ball on him. But to more of an extent than what they did with Joey Ryan. Like, they could have done a lot more with Morgan. Like, if they dropped the ball with Joey Ryan, they really dropped the ball with Matt Morgan, And I hope he goes to back to WWE. I hope they take him back, or maybe they'll take him in ROH and, have him do...
He's too big for ROH. Literally, physically sized. I think he's too big for the guys in ROH.
Which would be good. Because, like TNA, they've had the feuds that pop up in my mind is Kevin Nash against the X Division, where you got Kevin Nash, this huge guy, and he's got the X Division flippy guys just bouncing off of him.
Yeah,
and those made for really good matches, And Matt Morgan, he moves like a big man, like stiff, like his legs, like whatever. But he has the endurance. He can keep up with some of those guys. Not to mention, before the show started, we popped in the ROH show from San Antonio.
We finally got the DVD.
And Raymond Rowe looks big.
Yeah, Raymond Rowe looks big compared
to half the Ring of Honor roster. So imagine sticking a guy like Matt Morgan in there.
Yeah. To
compete with the younger guys, to have that clash of styles, the big strong man against the technical flippy guys, it could work.
Technical flippy guys.
Has ROH, and I'm asking this as a serious question, has ROH ever had a big dude that has been...
Big monster heel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily heel, or it could be heel or face, but
just a big
dude that could have...
Not that I'm aware
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Dempsey, but I don't think he was dominant.
The only thing, quote unquote, big would be Samoa Joe during his undefeated heel run when he was ROH.
But you're talking like Kevin Nash.
You're talking about height.
Yeah.
You're talking about height big.
I don't think so. I can't think of anyone.
No.
Nigel wasn't that tall. He's not as tall as Morgan. Nigel was taller than everybody, but not...
Yeah, Nigel was taller than everybody, but I think he's like...
Nigel was also lean.
6'7", 6'6", maybe.
Yeah, and he was lean and
almost
fast.
7. But yeah, Nigel will probably be the tallest guy, and I don't even think he was as tall as Matt Morgan.
Well, that guy that's in the Wyatt family, what was his name?
Brody Lee.
Yeah, Brody Lee. He was a big guy, but I don't think he had that much success in ROH.
I don't know.
It might be interesting. It might be good for ROH for him to go there, but I still think that he'd fit in better in WWE if WWE will freaking give him something, if they'll work with him and have him do stuff.
Hopefully he won't come back with a stuttering gimmick again.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. Like, I think his initial run in WWE, he was still green. He wasn't necessarily the best in-ring worker. He wasn't the best on the mic. I think he's improved significantly in the ring and improved significantly on the mic, that if he were to go back...
I think he's more confident now.
Yeah.
He didn't have that back when he was in WWE before.
Yeah, WWE just kind of tossed him to the wayside, and they put him and Nathan Jones kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
But I think if he were to go back now, seeing that he's improved, and there's still room for more improvement, but seeing that more. Yeah.
Under the McMahon's guidance, I mean, yeah, he could...
I think he could really go somewhere and be something in WWE. I really do. Yeah. And I hope he does.
He's got the talent written all over him. I mean, he could be a success in WWE if they let him.
Yeah. So, I guess we have to, just wait a few months and see what winds up happening with him.
Yeah, so either ROH or WWE. I mean, there's good possibilities on both ends.
Yeah. Unless he winds up going to Japan. Over in Japan, they'll probably,
Oh, they'll love him.
They'll love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they think Giant Bernard is like a big dude, and, that he's bigger than him, so they'll freaking fall in love with him in Japan. So, That'll be unfortunate for us because we won't really get to see him, but that'll be good for him. So, whatever.
Did you guys ever think in ever one of your podcasts that before you even talked about WWE, we would talk about TNA, Wrestling Society X, Ring of Honor, and Japan? You guys are growing up in front of my eyes. I'm proud.
Oh, well, thank you, Chris. All right, so that's
WWE.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that bullshit. Let's
We could transition to see if Matt Morgan would be one of the participants in the Ring of Honor tournament for the new heavyweight title. Because that's been announced a couple of days ago.
Yeah. For those following, it's been a little saga with the Briscoes and ROH. He did, Briscoe did get stripped of the title. Nigel set up a tournament, 16-man tournament, which 16-man, that's a pretty big tournament for ROH. So who do they got?
Pretty big tournament, period.
Yeah, it is, but especially for ROH, as far as main, world title contenders, you know. So, they started announcing, some of the, the participants. Who we got so far,
Well, I can't rattle them off the top of my head, but, there is a couple. Elgin's in it. Sanjay Dutt, of all people, is in it.
We got Kendrick in London.
Yeah, both of them are in there. So,
and if they're
wait, are both of them in there, or is it just one of them?
No, it's both. Yeah,
you sure?
So if they get paired off in the brackets for them to fight each other, that's gonna be pretty good.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
The two that stood out to me were former champion Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And former champion Kevin Steen.
Yes.
Yeah. Those will both be good. I don't think I've ever seen a match that I didn't like with Roderick Strong in it. He's a good wrestler.
I'm surprised those weren't like the top two guys announced for the tournament.
Well, yeah. I think they're really big on Elgin right now, and that's why he was the first one announced and all that, and people are really pulling for him. So
yeah, I saw some people online were saying just give him the belt or something, or
yeah,
they weren't even saying have a tournament. So I guess people are.
But there's still more slots open, and if they're gonna if they want to get some big name talent, first name that pops up to my list from Scum, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be. I'm sure he'll be on there. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be in there. So that'd be cool. We keep seeing more names pop onto that list, and then maybe we'll actually get to see some of the tournament or whatever. We got to try to follow ROH a little bit more, man. We've had this conversation.
We're putting our foot down. Whatever pay-per-view that the tournament starts at, we order it, we watch it, we review it.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, that's if they actually have the pay-per-views up and available.
Oh, yeah. We'll watch it the week after when it's already been put up.
Yeah. We'll watch it whenever it's available and however we can see it.
Because Ring of Honor does have certain shows where they'll be at a place for 2 days straight, which means that during that weekend they'll break down like the matches. They'll have half the bracket in one night and then half the bracket the other night, and then they'll have main events in between. So I doubt it'll take that long in Ring of Honor time to try to break all that stuff down. So as long as we can try to watch that first episode or two where we actually get to see the tournament brackets already done and them in action, that way we can at least break down what the winners of the first rounds are. Because there's bound to be some surprises in the first round of holy crap, how did he get there? Or why did we lose this guy? And then we could try to make some kind of predictions from there to see where it goes or who we would like to see.
Yeah,
And even then, ROH has had a history of bringing guys that you wouldn't expect, and just show up out of nowhere to stick them on a show, just to
give them a chance,
give them a shot,
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to see.
That would be very interesting to see.
Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing David Richards in the tournament, and then he get bracketed off with Paul London, so they can have a little rematch.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Yeah. I like to see Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards wind up getting bracketed off and have another great match. Those two, put on good matches with each other, but you don't see it all the time.
Also, speaking of American Wolves, I heard a rumor that they might be going to WWE too.
Now, are you just spreading rumors?
No, of course not. I would never do something like that.
I think you are, because I actually hadn't seen that anywhere.
Oh, if you haven't seen it, then I guess I'm just making it up.
It must not have happened. No, but no. Let's just.
So, what if that was the case? Could you see the American Wolves as a tag team in WWE?
Man, they'd have to be
desensitized and reprogrammed.
Exactly.
At least a year in FCW, at least.
Yeah, they'll have to take the microchip out and give them a new hard drive and everything, because they have what WWE would probably perceive as bad habits.
Yeah.
You know, with doing the too intense stuff, doing too much flippies, too much crazy finishers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE would have him in terminal developmental, kind of like how Cassius Ohno is. Like, he's been there for how long?
I've got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
At what point does the WWE say, you know what? We need to buy Ring of Honor?
Whenever Ring of Honor decides that they want to sell.
For the right amount, anybody's ready to sell at any time.
Yeah.
We've already gotten Punk, Bryan. We've got Cesaro. Ono.
The
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Who
The
else
dude
have we got?
from
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee.
And even during Punk's documentary, that's probably the first documentary that WWE's had where they've talked about guys outside. That was where Samoa Joe was mentioned heavily.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you're gonna make a big deal out of these guys, if you're gonna start making like videos, documentaries, and stuff, that's a good catalog of video to have.
Yes, it is.
Especially when we saw it with Punk's documentary. For anybody that hasn't watched it, there's a lot of Ring of Honor. They have footage of him actually in Ring of Honor during the documentary.
Yeah,
talking about how he used Ring of Honor as a stepping stone to get in.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bonus footage with matches with him and Colt Cabana, also another guy.
Yeah,
there's they went to a lot of effort to try to get some Ring of Honor stuff on the Ring of Honor
paper
stuff
footage.
On the video.
It's been a while since WWE has had to do that.
And so how far would you take it?
It's a good point.
Is this, like WCW. At some point you got to look whether they were collapsing or not. At some point WWE had their eyes and said, you know what, we've gotten some good guys from WCW. We got Jericho, we got Guerrero, we got Mysterio, we got the Big Show, we got.
Wasn't one of the main reasons they bought WCW is for the library?
For the library.
Yeah.
I think the parallel can be drawn more so with ECW than it can with WCW, because I think the fact that they have a working relationship with them, kind of the same way how they had a working relationship with ECW, is there. And I feel like it feels a little bit more like that relationship than it does with the WCW relationship. Whereas, and I know that this just seems like I might just be playing into the big three mentality. It seems that they treat TNA the way they treat WCW, and they treat ROH more like ECW. They kind of ignore the fact that TNA is there, and that's how they ignore the fact WCW is there. But when it comes to ECW, ECW, that little company, the little company that could, and that's how they kind of view. Ground. Yeah, and that's kind of how they view ROH. So I guess Vince is trying to repeat history with that, but no, you're right. I mean, it is kind of a breeding ground, and they do pull a lot of stuff, and they do use footage and this and that. So whenever that time comes, I have no doubt that WWE will want to purchase it. Whether or not it happens, that's another thing. But maybe once TNA folds, there'll be ripe pickings for them to buy TNA, and maybe a domino effect that makes ROH fold. Kind of like how it happened to WCW and ECW, kind of at the same time.
Yeah, you can definitely, if you look really into it, you could see like a repeat of history.
Yeah.
Forming up for these the three companies that people talk about. Hey, real quick, I saw on here TNA just they actually acknowledged Matt Morgan being released.
Okay.
So Impact Wrestling has released Matt Morgan. We thank him for all his contributions. We wish him we wish him the best of success in the future.
Best of success in the future.
They basically future endeavored him.
Yeah, that's their future endeavor. Okay.
God, they got to rip that off too.
All right. Let's talk about WWE. Let's go on and get to it. We have a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. You kind of want to run down the card of the pay-per-view and kind of talk about it a little bit and see what we think?
Okay, so we're going to go and get started with this on the pay-per-view.
All right.
You want to do... there is a pre-show for the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a title match like they tend to do on the pre-shows.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the Usos finally getting their shot against the Shield
for the tag titles.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what do we think about that?
I don't see the Shield losing in this quick.
No.
So I think the Shield's going to retain.
Well, it's just a shame because they've really been pushing Usos a lot lately.
Right. And I think this is going to probably be a pretty good match. But I just can't see them losing the titles on the pre-show this early after just winning them. But, it's going to be a damn good match, and I wish that match was on the actual show.
Absolutely, yeah. Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, you're being too quiet. Speak up.
Uh-huh.
That's not what I meant, asshole.
That's good stuff. It just sucks that it's pre-show. Whenever there's good stuff that it's cut out for the pre-show, the stuff that they fill that with on the pay-per-view, it's normally a bunch of crap.
Yeah, so we got to sit through all that bullshit.
So I've got $5 that says we're gonna get this 4-minute pre-packaged, pre-recorded, cut up bullshit premiere trailer for the Divas show.
And in between that, we're gonna have a match. Okay, so if you watch the match, who do you think is gonna win that match?
It'd be a shame that the Usos would. I hope the Usos.
I want the Usos to win.
Rub out of it. Yeah,
I want the Usos to win, but I don't want Shield to lose.
I agree with Abel. It's too soon for the Shield to be losing any titles, which is convenient that Ambrose is in a ladder match and not having to defend his title.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't want the Usos to lose, but
I don't want the Shield to lose either.
Yeah, you're stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn WWE for their booking.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Hey, for anybody that didn't hear that out there, Abel wants to take another piss. Again.
Thinking about the Miz.
Yeah.
Speaking of Miz.
So while we're talking, I'm gonna get on the Twitter machine and I'm gonna see if the Miz is trending, and we'll know exactly why. Because Poops McGillicuddy back there is over there googling his ass every 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Abel. Stinking up my bathroom.
All right. So from the bottom up.
Well, we got Axel versus Miz.
Axel versus Miz.
Intercontinental title match.
I like the push Axel's getting.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the last of Axel being in the mix of the Punk, Lesnar, Heyman, menage.
He might be in there once in a while. I mean, just like in a tag team match, like just to kind of stir things up. But I think they're going to start separating CM Punk and Lesnar from Heyman and Axel.
And Axel, yeah.
I think so. But I think that I think Axel's going to win. I don't see Miz getting the title.
Yeah.
Even if I did, I wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
Miz is such a tool. I can't even.
What the hell happened to the Miz? Main event at WrestleMania less than 2 years ago.
Dude, that was a fluke, anyways.
Well,
that was a stupid push.
The timing was right. I mean,
was it?
Defend
him.
It sucks because I'm not the biggest fan of the Miz, but I don't know how I'm ending up defending the guy.
Coincidentally, the biggest Miz mark is in the restroom right now, taking a shit.
For whatever faults the Miz had, he did have a big following before he showed up. I mean, you've been on the real world, you've been on MTV programming before you get to WWE. You've got a history of being on television. You're still going to have an audience. You're still going to have a fan base.
We're talking about that.
And then with the push that he was getting, it wouldn't surprise me to have somebody with that kind of media exposure to be put in a position to have the heavyweight title. But
I think they're relying too much on his being on the real world and social media.
But man, how the mighty have fallen. I don't see the Miz winning the belt. I don't want him to win the belt, as a matter of fact. So
they had to resort to giving him Ric Flair's finisher.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and give up our time to have Abel defend his boyfriend.
Okay, well, I thought that when Miz was going to fight, at WrestleMania at the main event, I thought that he was very much improved, and especially on the mic and with all the stuff that he was doing. Once he got traded from SmackDown to Raw, back when they still had the brand split, I think that when he went to Raw and he did all this, John Cena 0, The Miz 1 or 2 or what have you. I love that. Like, I thought it was really good, and I thought a lot of people were getting behind it, and I really got behind it, and I liked it. And I thought it was the WWE making a concerted effort to create a new star and give it to somebody that had been on the roster for a while. Yeah, you talk about the fact that he was on the real world and this and that. Put all that shit aside. Dude, The Miz has been in the WWE for a long effing time. And he moved up, he was on Tough Enough and was a Tough Enough reject. Then he was just the host of SmackDown. Then, he was, in that tag team with Morrison, and then they got successful. And then he was on ECW for a while, and then they finally, you were taking him serious and put him on, SmackDown, but he didn't do nothing. Then Raw, boom, Cena. I mean, I think that
Tough
really
enough
meant something.
runner-up.
Right, and he didn't win the damn thing.
Thank you, Chris.
Basically, he didn't win the damn thing. So I think he kind of, to me anyway, at that point in time, he kind of earned his stripes a little bit. And I like his mic skills, and I don't mind his in-ring work. And people keep talking about how shitty his version of the figure 4 is. Yes, the first couple of times when he tried to slap it on, he didn't do it right. But since then, like, he hasn't messed it up. It's just a figure 4. Anybody can do a figure 4. I mean, you're going to give him shit for, like, the first 1 or 2 times that he does it. Well, okay, fine. But, I mean, everybody fucks up a move every now and again, even if it is your finisher. So, there.
Trending #1 worldwide right now, The Miz. Wow, what a surprise.
Yeah. The old adage of not liking somebody, but respecting them? That's how I feel about Miz. I can't stand the guy, but I do respect the fact that he was a fan from the show, and he's...
After everything Abel just said, he just made me realize why I at least have respect for The Miz.
Yeah.
I forgot a lot of that stuff.
Well, there you go.
I still hate the guy.
Yeah.
He's still a tool.
I might be wrong about this, but I do remember being younger, watching The Real World, and I think he already had the Miz character as his alter ego, and I think one of the challenges he did do this WWF like boot camp with the group. I think. I know for a fact that they did that once on The Real World as one of the challenges, that they did a WWF show. I'm just trying to remember if The Miz was actually on that group.
You sure not thinking of Tough Enough, the old one? The old Tough Enough?
No, this is Real World.
I would have no idea because I didn't watch The Real World at
I didn't
all.
watch that shit.
I watched some of it as a youngster. My sister, she was into
Oh,
it.
the sis.
blame it on the sister.
No. My sister, I just happened to be in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just outed yourself,
back
man.
in the day, The Real World actually was
Were
watchable.
you putting on your nail polish also, Chris?
On my toes.
Yes.
Yeah. Had to get that metallic red on.
Hot Rod Red. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Giggity. All right. Is that all y'all wanted to say about Miz and
Fuck yeah.
Chris Axel?
Move on to something else.
All right, Jericho versus Ryback. Ryback wasn't on Raw, really, except for that one little segment where he gave Vicky a hug, and that's it.
Do we want to talk about why he gave Vicky a hug?
Why the hell did he give Vicky a hug? That was so weird.
Well, what happened to Vicky in the first place? Do we want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, we could talk about that, but...
Because that was kind of a big deal for the whole show.
Well, yeah, we could get to it. You want to get to it right now?
We can. It's going into the show.
Okay, well then we're talking about it right now. Vicky pretty much got fired. And Brad Maddox replaced him.
Oh, he's a GM. I'm not going to do that Maddox thing anymore.
Oh, you're not? Oh, good. Asshole.
I will.
There you go.
Double asshole. So, I don't know. It was whatever. It was just the McMahons being the McMahons.
I did like his reaction when Vince named him GM.
He sold that so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that was good.
How else are you going to sell that? That was just perfect on his
He didn't
part.
have to say anything.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was just...
He's just like, what? I'm the GM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that segment that was in the back when Vicky and Vince were back there, and then he goes up to Vince to shake his hand. It's like, thank you for making me GM. And he's like, you're gonna really try to shake my hand in front of Vicky? And I thought that was pretty funny.
That was there's really some really good characterizations in this whole storyline. I don't know what it is. We talked about this last week. I still feel bad for Vicky. She didn't do anything wrong this week. She's playing up to the crowd and everything, but she had to do what she had to do, I guess, in this week. But
I don't know, man.
And the way they're playing the McMahons against each other, but going, I don't know.
That was even better. When Vince was like, "Yeah, we'll let Daddy's little girl decide. She'll make the right move." And then Triple H's like, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll let my wife, the mother child, we'll let her decide.
The one who has to go home with me."
That was the clincher. That sold me. I was like, "Oh, all right, I like where this is going." And Stephanie completely covered her ass by saying, "You know what? We'll let these morons decide." That was awesome. The whole segment, Vicky going like Exorcist on the table.
Yeah.
Did you think Vince was getting kind of creepy with Vicky there? I kind of felt a little creepy vibe, like,
no, I don't know.
Like, I'm gonna pounce on her in her weakest moment and get some side action or something. I
Well,
guess.
she was in that position on the table. I could see why. You know,
I guess so.
We almost got some plumber's crack there. Oof.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've seen it all, there's Vicky's
some
butt
more.
crack. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of got this weird vibe from Vince. Like maybe Vince and Vicky are gonna.
Him
have
flashbacks
like
from the Attitude Era when he would just like hit on every single female.
Yeah. I kind of got that vibe. And here's something else. You know, again going back to the whole Ryback thing. Ryback doing what he did, it kind of led some people to believe, and I saw this on a couple of different places on like Twitter and Facebook and stuff, that maybe Ryback is, or maybe Vicky will be Ryback's new like manager or something. So Vicky won't go away, but she'll just
Like
be
she's
a
fired
manager.
she's fired as the GM or
GM.
whatever the fuck it was, and Ryback can hire her as his manager.
Yeah. Which I don't know if Ryback needs Vicky as a manager.
Not for Ryback, no. But then again, his character, you know, we kind of talked about this last week.
Character's fallen.
Yeah.
It needs a jump. How many characters has Vicky jumped?
Vicky
From
is
death.
Yeah, Vicky's
You
done
know?
a lot.
Edge. Ziggler.
Swagger.
Swagger. There's
That's
one
it.
more. I think there's one more.
Maddox.
No.
As a manager for wrestlers?
As a
Oh,
manager
yeah.
for a wrestler.
I'm sure there might be one more, but
There had to have been someone else.
but those
Maybe.
three are the big ones. Big
Yeah.
three, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe
I can't picture what they would do together. I mean, as far as the chemistry, if they had any together.
I don't know. Like, it would seem kind of weird to me. But then again,
This would be like a vengeful Vicky, you know, as a manager, you know, and then she could be like directing him to like take out. Like,
Yeah, but that goes back to where Ryback's character's already fallen to. Like, he's already
The whiner.
he's already like quitting matches. He's already like losing. You built up this monster, and now he's like nothing.
Well, maybe now, assuming that he will be with Vicky, maybe now he'll win matches because of Vicky. You know, Vicky's interference, distracting the referee, and he gets a cheap shot or something like that. And then he turns more into more of that inept heel, like a heel who can't win unless they're cheating or, you know, getting distractions from the outside or whatever. Well, maybe that's what
I want to see her as a straight up manager.
Mm-hmm.
Only, you know, when she was with Ziggler, there's the whole like they're going out. She married Edge. You know, I just want to see her as a manager. You know,
Well, she did that with Swagger for a little while.
Big Show.
Was she with Big Show?
Because she cheated on Edge with Big
Oh.
Show.
Oh,
So she came out with Big Show for that short stint.
Yeah.
I knew there was one.
thank you, thank you, Chris.
Nah.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Travis. I think I'd rather see her just be a manager.
And if that's what it is with Ryback, okay, I guess why not? You know,
Yeah.
it's not gonna hurt his character now. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost to the point of you're at the bottom and the only way to go is
But
up.
see, he's already got heat though. You know, it's not like you would need her to generate heat from fans. or
yeah,
anything.
but I mean, more heat's good heat, right?
I guess. Well, I guess we might find out at the pay-per-view. Like, when he comes out to fight Jericho,
Yeah,
he might, you know.
tag along.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens.
So who do you think is going to win that match?
Between Jericho and Ryback?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of hard to say, but Jericho's been putting over everybody lately, so why not Ryback? Ryback needs a win.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ryback.
I'd say Ryback too.
Okay.
Oh, wow, we're all agreeing there.
All right, cool. AJ versus Caitlyn. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, we got some more dynamics in this one, too, with what happened recently last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Okay, well, you got the whole thing with Big E. He's kind of sticking around with AJ. More so than Dolph, which is, you know, kind of weird, but then again, I mean, Dolph's kind of turning face, you know, while AJ's still staying heel. So I wonder if Big E will kind of get involved somehow. I don't think he's going to actually do the cheap shot on Caitlyn, because you can't really have man-on-woman violence in the PG era. But he might facilitate some sort of distraction or something.
He could trip her. Like, she can be doing Irish, just run the ropes,
Running
whatever.
the ropes and
he
trip
can,
her. Yeah, that could be an element to that. I think AJ may come out winning again. I'd like to see Caitlyn win it back just so that the feud will continue, but I don't know if that'll happen. I think they're going to just keep it on AJ.
I can see AJ winning. You can just keep the title.
Yeah.
Chris, you too?
I'm seeing AJ winning it.
Yeah.
There's
no
gonna
rhyme
be
or reason. I just think AJ's gonna win it.
there's gonna be something with her and Dolph after the pay-per-view that's gonna revolve around the titles. That's gonna break them up even more.
Well, that was something that was on Raw there
Right.
when they were talking. It's like, oh, me and you, we were supposed to be the power couple and have all the titles, and we would run this place or whatever. And he doesn't have the title, she does. And Chris, what are you thinking about there? You got this mad scientist look on your face.
Either one can happen. Neither one of these can happen. What would you think if either one would? Do you see Big E hooking up with AJ first?
Okay.
Or do you see Ziggler hooking up with Caitlyn?
Ooh.
Power couple with the belts. If Caitlyn gets the belt back, that would solidify Dolph as a face by turning against the crazy AJ.
I would not be opposed to that. I'd be
Because
okay
you
with
just
that.
mentioned how everything's going to revolve around the titles, the Divas title, and then Dolph winning the heavyweight title back.
Mm-hmm.
And that just got my engine going. It's like, hey, you know what? Maybe there could be something here. Maybe instead of before AJ cheats on Dolph, like AJ's cheated on every other dude she's been with.
Dolph cheats on her.
Turns it on her and takes off.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. That would be an interesting plot twist. And I kind of don't really want to see Big E and AJ happen because it's just like too obvious. It would be like lazy booking. What you just said is a little bit more creative than that. While Big E and AJ are hanging out, hey, why don't we make them a couple? Like that's just too lazy for me.
I actually pictured Big E turning on AJ and going with Caitlyn. I saw that as the whole thing with him being a secret admirer. Either that turned out to be legit after all, or that was just after the course of time.
I kind of had that feeling because when he first came out, the thought of AJ putting him up to it and to make this a whole thing, that never crossed my mind. I was thinking, man, Big E and Caitlyn teaming up with AJ and Ziggler, like trying to make a faction work between the two couples.
Yeah.
I thought that, I was like, man, you know what? You can go somewhere with that.
And then the couples will have tension and there'll be a big feud.
Yeah.
And Yeah. And that's where I was thinking the Secret Admirer thing was gonna go. I mean, hell, that's what our prediction was, that it was gonna be Big E and it was gonna cause problems. But instead it was the thing that we didn't want, which it was, AJ putting someone, and in this case putting Big E up to it. And I don't think that you can reverse that and then go back and say, oh, well, I really did, like how you were saying that it really is Big E after all, and he does like her. That's too much of a flip-flop, and, what's done is done, and I wouldn't want them to kind of go back on it and then say, oh, no, but I really did like you after all.
It's funny you say that because saying that you can't go back on it, I was always thinking, when it first started, that Caitlyn was having the Secret Admirer, and Cody Rhodes was trying to was trying to holler at her, but then Damian Sandow and the twins kind of interrupted that. Especially now with the Money in the Bank, that there could be some kind of divide or tension between the group. I was actually hoping that it was Cody.
That could have been cool too. That would have
been a good play on the previous one, but they dropped that really quick.
Really quick.
Well, and now that they're not with the Bellas, then they're free to do it. Pick that back up again, but.
It's too late for that. I mean, it's too late for Cody and the Caitlyn thing.
Yeah.
They dropped that too long ago.
But Big E, what did you say? Ziggler and Caitlyn. That'd be interesting. I think that would be an interesting twist and very plausible in the kayfabe world, anyway. I think. So,
not to mention just general logic. I mean, Ziggler's promos, like his promo on SmackDown, where he pretty much just said, "You know what, the fans, you tried to get the fans to like you, but you know what, they just don't like you." He doesn't have to be a heel, or he doesn't try to have to make a face kind of promo for him to come off as a face. He can just say
whatever he wants.
Just logic, like, hey, you know what, AJ, you're slut. I beat you to it, so you wouldn't do it to me. Yeah, it could come off as a heel thing, but it's so logical that it's kind of like the anti-heel.
Yeah.
And that would come off so much better, especially if that scenario plays out where he winds up going to Caitlyn because he saw the train coming and he's gonna just let the train pass.
Yeah.
Instead of getting hit with it.
Interesting stuff. And then that would be pretty cool if it did happen. So, But it's too good, so it probably won't.
It's gonna wind up being this huge gangbang, anyways.
Yeah.
So do we have? So you predicted AJ? What was your prediction?
I think AJ's gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say AJ. Did I already say AJ? I can't remember.
I think you did.
Okay, well, whatever.
For argument's sake, I'm gonna say Caitlyn now.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, fine.
All right then.
So then, who do you think's gonna win between Ziggler and Del Rio?
I've got Ziggler winning.
Ziggler? Yeah, me too. Without Ricardo Rodriguez, there's no point on having Del Rio try to be like this top guy or whatever, because nobody's buying it. I mean, yeah, he is the heel, so the face should always be chasing the heel, but...
He's not really chasing him, though. He's just...
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't even really contacted
I think the whole circumstance of Ziggler's concussion threw everything off.
Absolutely.
Well, that and Ricardo's suspension. The concussion and the suspension both threw the time frames off of everything on this storyline.
And then the other thing that's in the back of my head is, as good as the matches are, you know, Ziggler and Del Rio has been match of the week on this show like half of the episodes that you guys have been on in the past year.
Yeah, I know.
How much more of Ziggler Del Rio can you guys stomach?
I can't.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that's a
as
very,
good-
very good point.
As good as the matches are we seeing this in SummerSlam? How about Night of Champions?
Santa
How about
Maria.
we finish it off at Hell in a Cell inside a cell? You know,
WrestleMania 30.
How much more? Yeah, how much longer is this one feud gonna go? I mean, because you can't base Ziggler's only title run against the same guy.
Yeah, we got to see Ziggler against other people.
We
you
need
know,
to see Ziggler against other people. You know, so
Yeah.
one way or another, hopefully this will. It's not gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I'm hoping that whatever result we get between Ziggler and Del Rio is it.
yeah.
Because we need to see Ziggler with more people. You know,
I would hope that if Ziggler wins, Del Rio does not get an automatic rematch. Because think about it, he's a champion losing a title. Champion losing the title gets a freaking rematch. So
and what else has been happening with I don't know if you want to segue to this or not, but every Money in the Bank winner has lost their title at one point or another to the next Money in the Bank guy. Del Rio cashed in his Money in the Bank and he got a heavyweight title.
Mhm.
He wound up losing his title to the next person, Ziggler, who cashed in Money in the Bank. This will be a perfect time for whoever wins the match, move on to the next feud, which would be whoever wins the next Money in the Bank briefcase for the SmackDown side.
okay, well then let's talk about that. Who's going to win the SmackDown briefcase? You know, you brought this up last week and you said, you know, just snap your fingers and whoever comes to mind.
Fun.
Ah,
Don't say it.
don't say it.
Go!
Ah, you said it.
You know what? After the, wow, that's a lot of clipping. After
You broke my microphone.
after the promo on Raw, where everyone pretty much just dogged Fandango and like made him look like a little bitch,
Yeah.
he's gonna surprise people.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a whole reverse. The whole thing, how they built up Bryan in the last couple of weeks as, you know, this is the guy you need to look for. They're pretty much making Bryan look like he's gonna win the whole thing. They did the whole thing in reverse with this one promo that they did with Fandango, and everybody just saying no, and they all just beat him up and made him look like a complete tool. They just did that in reverse with Fandango. Like, he's the guy. You'll be surprised. Money in the Bank. You know how everybody's going to be cheering for a face because they're all faces in the Raw side.
Yeah.
But the SmackDown side, the match, as interesting and as much talent and potential that's in that match, you really couldn't find someone to legitimately cheer for.
Fandango,
to
other
root
than
for.
Fandango.
But now, the way they just position Fandango after this promo, and whatever happens on SmackDown, if something happens on SmackDown on Friday, I think they just made Fandango the guy for you to cheer for the SmackDown side.
Well, I figured they're going to turn him face anyways.
Yeah,
You know,
because all
the
the
music
Fandango
and shit. Yeah, I saw that coming. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if after the pay per view he's a face.
Okay. Yeah, I can buy that, but I just don't know if that'll actually happen.
Oh, as far as him winning?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's going to win. No.
You know what? I actually think he might.
Okay.
RVD
That's your prediction.
when RVD won the Money in the Bank, they had all this painting and stuff. There's certain Money in the Bank winners that they do some kind of crazy stuff to their briefcase. Didn't Edge have like the rated R logo on,
Yes, he
on
did.
his? Dude, imagine the crap that'll be on Fandangos. Like glitter and all these rainbow colors and like a skirt or something around it. Or something dancy, something. That's a well-gimmicked briefcase for Fandango.
Well, okay.
If it happens.
As ridiculous as he's going to win because the briefcase will look cool, as that sounds, I can actually see that.
Right?
I can actually see that.
Well, hold on. How is he going to dance to the ring while holding a briefcase? Come on, think about that.
That's
guys.
what Mrs. Fandango's for.
But she has to dance down to the ring too.
Not with the briefcase, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Dude, open it up. The briefcase is painted like the floor, like this table, like wood. It's painted like wood.
Like
and Fandango will just do a couple of steps on it.
Wow.
Come on. That's how possible. That's how many possibilities you can do with that. Like Fandango, fucking have it in his mouth like a rose. Dance around with the briefcase in his mouth. You could do so much with that, man. You could do so much with that.
Okay.
I don't know. If it wasn't such a serious shot as a Money in the Bank, I can see that. But for a title shot, I don't know.
You know who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Swagger. I think Swagger's going to win it. Because the way WWE had been pushing him with WrestleMania and all that, despite the fact that he had the DUI and the weed stuff and all that crazy crap, they still had faith enough in him to put him in the main event of WrestleMania. And then he was out for a little bit, but now he's back, and he has like this faction. It's not just him and Zeb; it's him and Zeb and Cesaro, and he's the highest profile guy in that match right now. If you just base it off of the last year, he was the one who had a main event match at WrestleMania.
Nice. He might have the highest credibility as opposed to him winning a Money in the Bank match already and cashing it in the next night and being a former heavyweight champion. I'll have to run through the list again, but I doubt that anybody else has that kind of credentials in that match. But with that said, with all the mistakes that he's done, I don't think that it was Swagger that was getting the attention. It was Coulter that was getting the attention for him.
Right.
And now that Coulter has Cesaro, who has who doesn't have any kind of track record of anything bad. With your logic, I would rather put Cesaro as the guy from that stable to win, as opposed to weed the people.
Yeah.
Well,
I would rather it be Cesaro too, but I don't think WWE has enough faith in Cesaro. I think they want the briefcase to be in Zeb's camp, but they're going to put it on Swagger because I think WWE, for whatever reason, has more faith in Swagger than they do Cesaro.
If the SmackDown briefcase is the one that gets the slow burn, Cesaro would be a good guy to have that slow burn with.
That's true, though. You do have a point there.
I'm still going to stick with my pick from last week. I'm going to say Ambrose.
Okay. The only reason why I don't pick Ambrose, because I would have, but the only reason why I don't is because he has a U.S. title. So I think that's like too much to put on somebody.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he has a U.S. title. The people in his faction have the tag titles. And he's going to be running around with the briefcase. I think that's more than WWE would like to put on one group.
It depends on how much they want to push the Shield. That's even something else they could say. Look at, because whenever they do promos, they're all talking about we're the future. We're everything. We are WWE right now. And with him, with the title, they got the title. His partners got the tag titles, and he's got a briefcase now for the world title shot. Yeah, I mean that's even another awesome promo that they could be doing.
Yeah.
So that's I'm just sticking with that pick.
If that happens, I'd be ecstatic. I would love for that to happen because, I like the Shield and everything. And we haven't seen any faction or group draped with that much gold. Because at this point, the Money in the Bank briefcase is almost like a title itself. Yeah.
It's almost like the X Division title.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's Plan C.
So to slap that onto someone else, man, I think that'd just be too much for him. But I would love for that to happen.
Oh, since you mentioned it, Houston Wrestling Radio Rewind.
Okay.
Last year, when Austin Aries came up with the proposition, there was an interview where Austin explained the Plan A, the Plan B, and then having the X Division title was the Plan C.
Okay, is that where that came from?
I don't remember the complete details of how everything works, but that's him dragging on the storyline from last year since he was the one that won it last year. Well, not that he doesn't have it, but when he brought that up, that's Plan C. There's a promo that Austin did in the beginning where he mentioned how Plan C got to that.
Okay.
So there's a reason he's saying that. It's not the morning after pill. It's not a vitamin in a juice. No, it's legit. So fast forward. Money in the Bank.
Thank you, Chris. Okay. Yeah. So I guess those are our predictions. So I'm going with Swagger. You're going with Ambrose, and you're going with Fandango.
Man, we're all over the place on this one. Yeah.
That's fine.
Fucker, you better say that name right.
Fun. Dong. Go.
Much better. Yeah, you gotta be professional, man.
Yeah, well, yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. All right. Raw Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think it's gonna be D-Bry anymore. Especially after what happened last night on Raw, where he climbed up the ladder, beat up...
That's almost too damn obvious.
Yeah, he beat up Punk, he beat up Orton, climbed up the ladder, grabbed the briefcase, and went yes, 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 all over the place there. That, I think, to me, that means he's not going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Okay, so is it?
RVD?
Daniel Bryan will have the briefcase, but he'll win it from RVD. So just like you said, X Division, it's just like the X Division title. RVD, before he cashed in his briefcase, he was defending it after the pay-per-view. He defended it against Shelton Benjamin.
And he retained it.
And he retained it. So I see...
And Mr. Anderson defended it and lost it to Edge.
And then Edge cashed it in that night, or the next night. I see RVD winning it, and a badass RVD Bryan match at SummerSlam.
Oh, God, that would be really, really...
Because there's no sense in bringing an established guy like RVD into the fold without having him put some guys over like Jericho's been doing.
Yeah.
And the first guy to have RVD put over in a match like that could keep up with RVD, or maybe RVD can't keep up with Bryan, would be RVD Bryan.
And that would be a hell of a good match.
Well, let's back up for a second.
Okay.
I would say RVD Punk. That would be awesome. They tag team a few times on ECW television.
They did.
But Punk's already got his own thing with Lesnar going. Mm-hmm. So...
I mean, I see what you're saying. I can see that happening. Do we need RVD to put over Bryan?
Wouldn't hurt.
Bryan's already established. I mean, he doesn't need to be put over. No. He's the most over person in the place.
But that's just another notch on the belt. You saw all the... There has to be a purpose why why they were showing all these RVD milestone clips during last night's Raw to build him up to win this.
Right, to show that he's
a threat.
Yeah,
remind people of who he was.
Yeah,
people that have started watching that recently that don't know who RVD is, kind of reintroduce him.
Right.
I don't know if that's indicative of saying that because they're showing those clips, he's going to win it just to put other people over and then lose it to Bryan. So I don't
see him winning it.
Yeah.
I never saw him winning it. I told you that when he was first announced.
Yeah, I know, but now I think he is. We're disagreeing. That's fine. Yeah. We can disagree.
Yeah, if you want to be wrong. But okay. So...
Okay. You asshole. Okay. All right, smart guy. So who's going to win?
I don't know. No, I'm gonna stick with my prediction from last week again. D-Bry. I'm still going with that.
You're still
you're gonna
ride that horse till it drops, huh?
What? I can't stick with my predictions. I gotta change it every week. What the fuck?
Right.
No. I'm just messing with
you. Don't give predictions yet.
Well, we're not gonna.
We're not gonna talk about the Wyatt family debut yet, but Kane is officially out of the match.
True.
So now. We can't even make a hard decision on who to win because they might
we don't know who the other
with somebody else. This would be a perfect position to where whoever won between Ryback and Jericho. Didn't I say that in the beginning? Somebody would win a 7th spot.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
Very good, Chris.
My crystal balls, I'm telling you.
Crystal balls?
It's not that kind of play on words. My name in Spanish is Cristobal. And whenever white folk or Mexicans that wanted to be smartass and they wanted to get punched in the face, they would say, "Oh, it's Cristobal." I hated that. It's like if they were campaigning for an ass whooping, they were going to get elected.
Crystal ball. I get it.
See, it works on white guys.
Fuck up. Yeah.
Nah.
Get out of my house.
Jericho in a ladder match. Fuck it. I would pick RVD. RVD's still my pick now after everything I've seen. Just because I was trying to do the order of elimination. Orton, God, he's so boring now. I wouldn't put herpes on Orton. Brian, the way they booked him on this last Raw, it's too obvious. He can't win it. Punk obviously has got the Lesnar thing going. Christian, the way that his feud's been going with the Shield the last couple of weeks, I still think that we're getting Christian against Ambrose for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. Yeah, that's just my prediction. Who else is left? Kane's out. Sheamus. I don't know where they're going with Sheamus, but I'm not sure I don't feel confident if I were to pick Sheamus winning it. I don't know what they're going to do with Sheamus, but I don't see him.
He's not feuding with anybody.
Maybe that's the point. That'll give him something to do because he's been not doing anything for such a long time, but they've still been pushing him with these 1-800-FELLA commercials, and they're trying to put him, feature him prominently, but he's not doing anything. So hell, why not have him win the Money in the Bank?
Real quick about Sheamus, I saw he was like the first person after so many years. He's got, out of 125 matches, he's won 100 of them.
Really?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Chingado.
Yeah. It's sad.
That's a lot of wins for that white boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently from the commentary, Money in the Bank is the only thing Sheamus hasn't been able to do yet because he's won the Rumble, he's won the WWE title, he's won the World Heavyweight title. I think that's the only motivation for a casual fan to want Sheamus to win it.
Mm-hmm.
I just for some reason don't see him winning it.
I don't know what it is. Yeah,
by order of us, by
and he's a fellow ginger. I should be supporting him, right?
You should. Yeah. So by elimination, I would think that RVD would be the one winning it. But now that this other spot's open, like it's easy to say Ryback and Jericho because they were both jaw-jacking. How the match got started in the first place is because they wanted title matches.
Yeah.
You know, so it by logic or by association, it's easy to say Ryback and Jericho. But man,
do you think it's too late to do any changes to where we could say that's a stipulation?
Well, we still have SmackDown. They could say something on SmackDown
if you want to see something different, there's a very important wrestler right now who I don't think has ever been in a Money in the Bank match, who would be an easy play to build up for a Punk match at SummerSlam.
And who would that be?
Brock Lesnar.
Lesnar getting stuck in the Money in the Bank match?
Dude, he's advertised for the Raw after. Dude,
that is a clusterfuck waiting to happen. If you thought Lesnar was clumsy one-on-one against Cena and clumsy one-on-one against Triple H...
Here's the other thing, though. I don't know if you guys have noticed it from the beginning, these Money in the Bank ladder matches, there's always been at least one big guy for everyone else to bounce off of. Kane's always been in it, or Mark Henry's always been in it, or Finlay, who's a brawler, who's a bruiser, that kind of fighter. There isn't anyone like that in this match right now.
Sheamus.
Sheamus is the guy.
But Sheamus doesn't have the size. Kane is big.
Finlay, you said Finlay.
Well, I said Finlay. I'll scratch Finlay out. Kane... Mark Henry, there has to be another big guy. Big Show's been in the Money in the Bank. There has to be a big, muscular, huge guy.
Yeah, but not Lesnar. Thinking Lesnar in that match is going to be like trying to watch a monkey hump a football, man. Like, it's just not going to work. He's just too awkward in there, man.
That analogy doesn't work.
That was awkward. That was an awkward analogy there. Jeez.
Like, I'm picturing it now. Like, fuck,
you too?
Man.
Yeah.
I know, man. Like, the hole's not even that big.
It's okay, Chris. It's okay. Come on.
That's why it doesn't work. Anyway, you know, I don't think he could perform in such a high-flying, fast-paced match. Even if you say that there's historically been other big guys in matches like that, I think it would be a mistake.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know about that one. I don't know. Him in a ladder match, yeah. I think you're not giving him as much credit. Maybe.
I'm not trying to build Brock Lesnar in this ladder match to have Brock Lesnar win the ladder match. I'm just building Lesnar in there to add a dynamic of something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
Especially since Ryback and Jericho are already competing.
Yeah.
You know, if Vicky made the mistake to bring Lesnar in and Brad Maddox is the new guy, what would his first mistake be? Oh, hey, let me bring in Brock Lesnar. You know?
Which I didn't even think about having Lesnar as the last participant, but I definitely saw like Punk like climbing the ladder, almost getting the thing, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and like F5s him off the ladder or something.
Like literally, don't even have Lesnar in like compete in the match. Like have Lesnar as a participant, and the first thing Lesnar does is beat the hell out of Punk. Like just take Punk Lesnar somewhere else in the arena,
like have him brawl outside the ring,
and to have them be complete non-factors, and we have a 5-man match, even though those two are still out there.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
And that would set up, if that isn't enough help to set up whatever match that feud they're having to have their match, that would be perfect way to start it.
What I could see with Lesnar, I mean, now that we're talking about this, actually, what I could see with Lesnar doing is not be a participant in the match, but just interrupt in the match and just get in there and give the F5 to Punk right as Punk is about to win. Kind of like how, I think it was WrestleMania 22, where it was Matt Hardy that was about to win it, and MVP comes out and distracts him.
That was 24, because we were there. It was no, I think Matt Hardy was supposed. It was 24. Matt Hardy was supposed to grab it, and then Jeff Hardy came out.
No.
There's some kind of interference. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm pretty sure the one I'm thinking about was 22. Where
22 was the one where RVD won it.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one where Jeff Hardy got the really, really big ladder, and instead of going for the belt, and JBL was saying, "Just win the match, kid, damn it!" And instead of going for the belt, he like jumped off of the top of the ladder in the ring to the other ladder that had like Edge laying across the ladder and like jumped off him. It was that same match, and I think that was 22.
No,
22.
JBL wasn't on commentary. He was still wrestling. It couldn't have been 24 because JBL wrestled that night. If you're doing,
it wasn't 24 because it wasn't the one that I was there for.
It wasn't 24.
Anyway, I guess it could have been 23.
Can we? Okay.
All right, let's move. Anyway. I think there's going to be an interruption. Yes. I think he's just going to run interference. I don't think he's going to be in the actual match. Because I think to ask Lesnar to do a Money in the Bank match is asking too much for his talents.
On the flip side of things, Lesnar was supposed, from all intents and purposes, Lesnar was supposed to be feuding with The Rock for this year's WrestleMania.
Oy.
This year coming up. Now that he has nothing to do, that would be a great way to try to get some, to try to see what kind of chemistry he has. Put him in the same ring with Daniel Bryan, with Randy Orton, with Sheamus.
Yeah,
with
let's see how many
Punk.
top guys he could injure.
You know, he's already had chemistry with RVD. RVD put him over at the King of the Ring before he won the title in the first place.
Dude, that was like 75 years ago, though.
And they're still there. You know? Why not set something up to where, hey, you know what? Let's get Brock Lesnar. The reason people want to watch Brock Lesnar against CM Punk, besides the fact that they're Heyman guys, is because of the similarities in fighting styles. You know, CM Punk's got the jiu-jitsu, the Muay Thai, the MMA looking kind of background. He makes it look real. Yeah. Brock Lesnar comes from a world that he was real. Mm-hmm. Who else has that mold?
Not a whole lot of guys.
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, Daniel.
You know, you want to give Daniel Bryan some sympathy points? Have him get the fuck beat out of him by Lesnar, because trust me, he's not going to do any better than CM Punk. CM Punk's just as wiry, he's as small, he's just much as same fighting style. Mm-hmm. You know, if the Punk Lesnar match comes off presentable, that would be the next place to go. Give Lesnar something to do. Survivor Series. Build something up with the little guy. You know, or have him build something up with somebody like Sheamus that can get physical. You know?
Yeah. Like
test the waters. Have him in there, throw him against all these walls and see what sticks. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. We're just going to have to agree to disagree, because I just think that if you throw Lesnar in that type of match, that caliber of match, and something that people are looking so forward to, he's just going to stink up the joint, and it's just going to ruin said match. I mean, yeah, he can have these great moments with D-Bry, and it could start feuds with all these other top guys, but I think he needs to be in just one-on-one feuds, and most of those matches should be brawls. I don't think he should be in a Money in the Bank, just because a Money in the Bank just needs to be something more special than that, you know, and I think Lesnar will not bring much to the table in that style of match. But we could just set that aside, because we're just probably going to go in circles on that.
We've already kind of veered off from this is probably not even going to happen anyways. We're just...
All right.
This was all just one big-ass hypothetical.
All right, let me ask another question then.
Okay.
Do you see either one of the winners cashing it in that night?
No.
No, because they made too much of a deal about Kane actually doing it, so I don't think it'll happen. You know? Oh, you never know. They could cash it in the same night. Just like how Kane did 2 or 3 years ago. Like, they brought it up too many times for that to actually happen. I think one will probably cash it in within a month's time, and the other one somewhere like halfway through a year time. But I don't know if it'll be the same night.
Do you see anyone holding off till WrestleMania? That still hasn't been done.
That hasn't been done yet. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly, but that's a long time, man. What do you think, Trav?
God, I would like to see someone do it for WrestleMania, but I don't think WWE's got the pay. They tried it. They tried to get in there at some point with D-Bry, but that first time. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see the actual contract be made for I'm going to fight you at WrestleMania for the title. Sign the contract.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, here we go. The Rock is going to take Kane's place. The Rock is going to win the Money in the Bank Championship, and he just won't be on TV until WrestleMania, and then cash it in at Mania.
We'll just forget about Money in the Bank at all. We'll just forget it,
That takes care of one briefcase. Now you won't have 2 briefcases running around. One will be in a freaking vault somewhere in a bank in Hollywood. And, The Rock will go get it out of the safety deposit box and then cash it in on WrestleMania Day.
As far as cashing in that same night, I'd have to go with one of my predictions, but change another prediction. Because I said Ambrose would win, but I also said Ziggler would win. I could, maybe if like Del Rio wins instead, and he's like kind of banged up after the match, Ambrose comes out, and then of course he's got the Shield kind of with him.
Oh, man.
Them causing issues. I could see them taking it from Del Rio. I wouldn't see that. I wouldn't.
That's the only attractive thing about Ambrose is that
he's got the Shield.
If he wins it, it's going to be so much easier for him to do it with the Shield.
Yeah.
In the background, helping him out.
Then again, that reinforces my argument that it's just way too powerful for the Shield to have.
Yeah.
That's way too much for the Shield to have.
I think it would just reinstate how powerful they are. As like,
yeah.
And then again, they have...
I mean, I would like the Shield to be that powerful, because, I'm a member of the IWC, and the IWC are gushing all over the Shield,
Well, not anymore. They're more gushing over the Wyatt family now.
Well, yeah, we'll get to the Wyatts here in a minute.
I guess if we're going to kill the Money in the Bank talk, the last thing that you mentioned about The Rock winning it and not coming back until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to hold it for a long period of time, that's what I want to see. Because we've already gotten too accustomed with the Money in the Bank, too used to every time that something crazy happens. Oh my God, cash it in. There has to be a way to make the people forget. And one of the ways to make it work is to not have the briefcase walking around every week, not showing it off every week, not, hey, by the way, I'm the winner. Hey, look at this.
I'm Mr. Money in the Bank.
I'm Mr. Money in the Bank.
I never understood why people keep carrying around.
Going. Like, keep doing your...
Yeah.
That's why I would like to see somebody that's already in a storyline win it and just have that secondary so people can actually forget. Draw it out. Even if it has to be past WrestleMania, even if it has to be at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, if the commentators even forget. Like, that's part of the commentator's job also.
Treat it like the TNA TV title.
Yes! just literally put it in the back of people's minds, like, oh my God, I forgot that he's the Money in the Bank winner because I haven't seen him with the briefcase. That's the only way to keep that element of surprise left. Because at this point, as cool as the concept is, as cool as watching them cashing in every time winning,
it's happened like 10 times.
Except RVD was
RVD and Cena.
RVD and Cena are the only two that set it up front to kill the surprise vibe of it.
Yeah,
But I think that vibes. I think after Ziggler winning it, I think it's worn off to where there needs to be a new. They have to find a way to bring that magic back, and I think that would be not having the briefcase on you. Like, just keep doing what you do and just leave it behind and have the commentators, everybody forget that he has it, to where when it happens, you'll have that feeling like you did the first couple of times, like when Edge cashed in the first time. Holy crap! When Edge cashed in the first time,
oh yeah, that was magic,
dude. Nobody saw that coming. You know,
the first time Punk cashed it in, that was
man.
crazy.
Yeah. And then to a smaller extent, it was taped. It happened. It aired it 4 days later. Nobody expected Swagger to cash it in the next night.
Yeah.
On Jericho of all people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then Ziggler, the magic of Ziggler was because we've all wanted Ziggler to have that spot for so long.
They made us wait for Ziggler, and they teased it a lot.
And not only, they teased it with Ziggler having the World Heavyweight title for a week.
Yeah.
Before he lost it back to Edge.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be something different this time around, whoever's holding it long term, to make us forget about it, and I think that would be the best way to do it.
Maybe. Well, you mentioned in there something about RVD and Cena being the only ones to ever say, hey, I'm going to fight you on a certain night with the Money in the Bank. When they were showing the milestone clips of RVD, one of the clips that they showed was the one where RVD cashed in the thing to fight Cena at that ECW One Night Stand. Do you realize that was in 2006? And in 2006, people were sick of Cena? You realize
I thought you were talking about RVD because he's had some badass ladder matches, dude. He had a ladder match with Christian in 2003.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later,
they're both in there.
They're both in the same ladder match again. That they're still doing this. But I wasn't thinking you were going to go that Cena route. That in 2006 people were tired.
In 2006 we were tired of Cena, and
now we just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Now we have.
Now we just moved on to the next guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Transition to the next thing. We got Cena being the champ, 2013. And he's fighting Mark Henry, and that's going to be the main event for the Money in the Bank match there. Oh, god damn, I'm tired of Cena. Alright, I'm just going to get to it. My prediction for that match, Cena's going to win.
I'm sticking with my prediction again. Henry.
God, I hope you're right. So tired of Cena. Okay, Chris, help us out here.
I think we've already gotten the false finishes with Ryback. If they want this feud to keep going, if this match turns out being that good that we need to see another one, I think the only way to make that happen is if Henry wins this first time.
Okay.
So I've got Henry.
You've got Henry.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Because I said, let Henry win it now, and then have Cena chase it at until SummerSlam, and then he can win it back at SummerSlam, whatever. I just want Henry to get that validation.
He really does need that for his career. I think he deserves it, but I've grown accustomed to not betting against Cena because it's Cena. WWE just doesn't like to let the guy lose.
The wrestling geek in me is still crossing my fingers and toes that the guy that waited 17 years loses the belt in 17 seconds. That just writes itself so easily.
But you don't really want that.
I want Henry to win.
But no, you don't want that 17 second.
But the 17 second,
you would like to see it, but you don't want to see it, right?
I know. Yeah.
I'd like to see it. That'd be so sweet if not sweet that's sweet. I mean sweet. Oh, sweet.
Henry cheats to win. Cena super Cena's and retaliates after the match and beats him to a black pulp, and then the winner comes out in 17 seconds after the bell rings. He loses the belt.
Yep, that'd be crazy. Do you want the napkins, Chris?
Pass me that Kleenex box.
Okay,
please.
there you go. All right. So that's all the Money in the Bank talk. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, get some of that out of the way before we went to some of the other specifics about WWE Raw. Because there were some things on there that aren't related to Money in the Bank. And there was also a couple of Match of the Week candidates. I mean, we already said that from Impact we had Sabin versus Aries versus Suicide.
Sabin versus Aries. That's it.
That's when the match started.
That's it, yeah.
After he got taken out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's Match of the Week candidate. There's also another Match of the Week candidate from Raw, and I would say D-Bry versus Sheamus. I thought that was a darn good match.
Hell yes, that
yeah.
finish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That cloverleaf into the reversal. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That cloverleaf looks sick.
Yes.
When he put him into it and he kind of picked up his whole body off of the ring, off of the mat there, and man, that looked nasty.
The cool thing about him doing the cloverleaf is because he's such a muscular guy. We're used to seeing like Malenko or somebody doing the cloverleaf. You know, he's a smaller guy, but seeing this big, brawler dude like, just like doing the cloverleaf on this little dude, it's just it looks that much more
brutal.
impressive. Yeah, impressive,
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, I think,
And then from D-Bride is the counter out of that.
I think for a submission maneuver, I think the cloverleaf fits Sheamus. I mean, aside from the fact that it's called the cloverleaf, that's obvious there. But I think what you had just mentioned, the fact that he's just like such a big dude doing a move that's a relatively simple move, in the world of submissions anyway, to do that and put somebody in there and just have enough muscle to make it look like it's really devastating, I think it works for Sheamus, So, but, I mean, that was great, but the reversal out of it, how D-Bride gets out of these things, I have no idea. This guy's a freaking Houdini, and he did it perfectly, and just got him wrapped up in the no-lock, and it was just great. I freaking loved that match.
That's my pick.
That's your pick for match of the week?
Hell yes.
Okay, well, let me just get to another match of the week candidate. Punk versus Orton. We could kind of go back and forth on that. I'm not as excited about that match as I was D-Bride versus Sheamus, but I still think it deserves some recognition there. It's not my vote. I would say my vote would be the one on Impact. That's what my vote goes for. Just because I'm such a mark for the X Division,
You finally got your 1-on-1?
I finally got my 1-on-1, yeah. So that's my pick. But between these three, we got my pick, we got Chris's pick. What's your pick, Trav?
I'm gonna go with D-Bride Sheamus.
Okay, that's fair.
Thank you, sir.
That's a very excellent match. I'm not gonna argue against that.
Okay.
And listeners, if you want to argue against that, you could just send us a tweet at HWrestling or you can hit us up on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Houston Wrestling Radio, and tell us what you think was match of the week.
But be nice when you're saying that Abel's wrong.
And don't be nice if you're saying anything about me.
That dirty Mexican.
I just said it the one time, okay? I'm sorry.
All right, so, those two matches were both excellent from Raw, and of course the one from Impact was good, so I think we had some pretty decent wrestling this
Do you
week.
think they're done with the whole underdog, or the whole D-Bride?
Weakest link?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they were kind of talking about that on commentary a little bit, how they think that... I think it was JBL saying, I think that win against Orton cured him.
Yeah.
Cured him of the...
So I'm wondering, if they're that's the end of the storyline there.
I don't know. I mean, it could
I
be.
thought they were gonna go with it until the pay-per-view, and then him winning the thing would be like his saying he's not the underdog, he's not the weak link anymore.
I'm afraid that if they do kind of go with that a little bit more with him saying, well, see, I wasn't the weak link, I'm not the underdog, I beat so-and-so, and I beat so-and-so, and I beat so-and-so, and so-and-so, and then he'll start turning heel and sound more like a dick and more like, I beat everybody, and da-da-da-da-da. So I kind of want him to still have the inferiority complex, because then that'll kind of elicit more sympathetic responses from the crowd and keep him face.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I wanted him to keep doing that until the pay-per-view, or
So we agree.
whatever, sure.
On a completely related side note, JBL on commentary is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Lawler's not. Not anymore, anyway, man. I think Lawler's lost it.
Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Lawler's.
He just phones it in now.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that much. I don't think he does anymore.
I don't think we've mentioned this. I think Taz's contract is going to expire soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, didn't he just renew it?
Yeah. Taz
resigned.
did
He just
resign.
renewed it?
That same day that all those people got fired.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
He said on Twitter that he resigned. So basically what they were doing is they were making room for the cap, under the cap for Taz, basically.
I missed that. That was such a shame. Because I would love to see JR, Lawler, JBL, Raw. SmackDown, bring back Michael Cole and Taz.
That could work.
No, it can't anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But damn, JBL. He knows exactly what to say, when to say it. He's like young JR.
Yeah.
Travis?
He's like young JR.
Thank you for your input there, Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
All right.
So here.
One other note from Raw before we get to the Wyatts. Heyman. When Heyman came out with those fucking sunglasses, I lost it. I was like, who does this guy think he is? It was before I realized that he had a black eye and he was just on the ramp, when he first came out. Like, what is this dude? He thinks he's Magnum PI. What the hell is it?
Well, the angle that he walked out was like They didn't focus on the eye. They just you saw him with the sunglasses.
I just thought it looked hilarious, and I was like, this guy needs to come out with sunglasses from here on out because he just looks so funny, ridiculous, extra douchey. Yeah, he looks even more douchey, more of a heel, but it's just so funny that it works, and it felt like something Heyman would do just to get himself over, and it got him over with me when I just saw it. But then when I realized, he was covering up a black eye, whatever, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. But then when he put the glasses back on and wore them for the rest of the match, I was ringside holding the Intercontinental title with his glasses on. That just looked hilarious, man. I didn't know what to make of this guy, It was just something so simple made me pop,
It's funny how you mentioned that he looked like such a douche for having the sunglasses on when Friday on SmackDown, when he got popped in the eye by Del Rio in the first place. That's the first time I ever had sympathy for Paul Heyman. Oh. He actually came off as a face there.
Yeah.
And then Punk going all Hulk on him. Incredible Hulk, not Hulk Hogan.
Right, yeah.
And just went ballistic on Del Rio and causing that finish. I wonder if they're actually going with Paul Heyman as for that in that moment with Punk, when you see him with Punk as a sympathetic person, because the way that Friday Night SmackDown ended, just having flashbacks of the conversation we had the week before about
where are they going with that?
That
whether or not they're going to turn him face.
Yeah.
I don't think that they are going to go with that, even though I kind of wish that they would. But there was flashes of it, especially with the sunglasses and him getting punched by Del Rio.
False kind of sense of they are really friends, or
Well, I mean, I think that's the whole crux of the storyline. Right. He's trying to elicit Punk's sympathy and
that's why he purposely took the punch from Del Rio.
That's what the whole point is. I mean, I wish we could buy into it and have him actually be a face and all this stuff not be a lie to fool Punk, because I think that would be just some great buddy cop TV, like how you put it last week, with Punk and Heyman just, having this little bromance.
But regardless, it's still a good storyline.
Yeah. And it's still bringing out, that's just another example of how Punk, the emotion that Punk is showing is doing more for his character than him being on the mic, because the moment you could literally see his face transform from the moment that Heyman got popped. Punk went from, "Hey, I'm best in the world," to, "Man, I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah,
like literally that changed like that. You could see it in his face, and the way he reacted after that, Punk's been really excelling physically. Like
his facial expressions have been spot on.
Yes.
Yeah,
something changed whenever he came back from that little break he took. I mean, he's like refreshed. He's like
that storyline's bringing out something in him that I don't think I've seen this good since he's been there.
Yeah, this is more. It's hitting on emotions and shit like that. Where the last one he's just cocky and arrogant, I'm the best in the world, shit like that. Not a whole lot of emotion to that. It's just I'm the best. This is like taking it. Like I said, to a different level.
This is a little personal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
It's some good stuff. It's some definitely good stuff, and I like where it's going. And I hope Heyman keeps those glasses.
He probably got them for $10 at the mall at like 2 hours before the show. Those like real
do you care? Do you want them the same, like the light blue tint, the tint and everything?
I hope that he gets glasses with the same amount of tint to match his suits. That would just be hilarious.
Or they had a gold tint to match the Intercontinental title. That thing looked shiny on
Monday.
It
did. Yeah,
it looked bright. And he's been the first person to announce it in a very long time as the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
And then the cameraman made an extra effort to focus on that part of the belt that said heavyweight on it.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
That's
only Heyman would do that.
That's an example of them trying to get more prestige onto that title, the IC title, and they need to do it, man, because it's been passed around like a cheap hooker, and
or like Sonny.
And well, like I said,
and with that said, Axel's the best person to have it because of the background that he has.
Exactly.
Perfect place to start.
And
perfect.
I didn't even mean to say it. But
just go.
That's what I do. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the big scary elephant in the room with a goat face mask on. The Wyatt family.
I thought I was going to talk about Daniel Bryan again.
No. The mask. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Wyatt family. Finally, let's get to this. We'll finish up our WWE talk with the Wyatt family. It was the biggest thing from the week.
We're only 2 hours into the show, sure.
Yeah, only. It's the biggest thing for the week, and everybody's a buzz about it, and everybody was hyped going into it, and they're hyped coming out of it. I'm not sure if I feel the same sentiments as other people out there do. I thought it was cool. I thought it was neat, but I'm not so excited for it. Like, it happened. I was waiting for it to finally happen. They came out, and I thought that it was neat with the lighting. With the little lantern or whatever. And then the random rocking chair that he was sitting in the middle of the arena. And then they attacked Kane.
Well, that's from NXT. So, he did that. Yeah, during NXT. You know, they bring the chair out, and he would sit on the entrance ramp while the dudes, his brothers, whatever, would beat the shit out of the opponents, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was a successful debut, but I'm not sure if I'm 100% behind it yet, because it was pretty much just their character doing their character's things and them attacking Kane. And, like, that was it. Like, I was expecting some sort of explanation.
All right, well, let's back up for a second.
Okay.
The little cameraman trying to get the interview thing. I was torn on that one. I like the concept, but the way they pulled it off where the cameraman didn't talk, he just kind of walked up and the guys were like, oh, you're looking for them? They're over there. You know, that was a good idea to find the complex, you know. But the foot sound effects and the no talking from the cameraman, that kind of took me off for a second. You know,
they could have done something else with that. They could have done more creepy vignettes like the ones that they had been showing. Even show them they're in the compound, you know, but not necessarily it was like a cameraman trying to investigate. They could have just had a vignette pop up with the camera going through the house, and then there's Bray Wyatt and saying all the crazy shit that he was saying. They could have just done that. But you're right, where it was like the cameraman looking for the guy and the cameraman not saying anything and looking around. Yeah. That added a level.
It is like all
of cheesiness to it that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, the character's kind of looking in the camera. Oh, you're looking for him? They're over there. You know, it was so, cheesy. Yeah, I guess.
The only thing I'll disagree with on that part is that the vignettes that we got about them in the compound were a whole lot better change of pace than the same promos that we've been getting 3 times an hour for the last 3 weeks on both shows.
Now I will.
That's why that's why I was a fan of where they were going with that, because it was.
But they could have took those 3 that they showed on Raw and spread them out, one on last week's, one on the week before that, and one on the week before that. And they could have spread that out. And the other thing too about it is that it was on the compound, but it was also pre-taped. So we knew that wasn't what was happening on that day, and they were kind of trying to pull it off and make it look like, oh, this was just happening today while they were looking for the complex. I was like, they're supposed to be in the backwoods somewhere, but you're in Baltimore.
Right.
You know, and then
that kind of threw me off too.
The last thing that they showed on the vignettes was him with the lamp, and then the first thing that they showed when they were actually there was him with the lamp. So they try to make it seem like, oh, it was the same lamp from the same videos. It's like, no, it's not. They were in the backwoods, and then they're in an arena in Baltimore.
And then on top of that, he blew the light out in the lantern. So
no, he lit it, then blew it out.
So then why would he come out again with the lantern already lit?
Yeah.
And plus, it was like a bulb. It wasn't even a
flame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. But
I wanted to say this about the vignettes real quick. It was getting past the cheesiness of it. I did like when they got to the complex. Brody Lee was like, don't look over there, and he turned over there, and the guy's wearing the mask, still chopping wood and everything. He turns back and he looks back, he's gone. That was a good like horror movie little effect. And then when he got into the house, the whole obey, 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 and he's like, he opens the door. That was, it was a cool horror movie shit going on in that whole scenario when he got into the house. I dug that. I'm a horror movie dude. So I dug all the stuff when he got into the complex. I didn't want to make you think that I didn't like it, but I did like the build up to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I liked all that stuff too, and I still do. I still like it. But here's the thing. It feels like a horror movie to me. And I don't think that genre fits well in wrestling in that aspect. Like, if you're gonna have a scary guy, have him be like scary, not creepy, slow, and methodical, but scary, like big, muscly, and dominating.
Leatherface.
Like Kane. Well,
okay.
You know,
I was going for the horror movie analogy. You weren't.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, I think Leatherface would make a good type of wrestler.
There's going to be a better analogy soon.
Okay.
The reason that set off in my head, one of these 3 movies that I saw over the weekend, there was a trailer for a brand new movie where the people it's the normal horror movie where they're all in the house and they're having a vacation and there's people that are there to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
The antagonists in the movie are wearing the same animal masks that the Wyatts are wearing right now.
Really?
Yeah. The tagline's like "The animals hunt you," and it's these guys that wear animal masks.
# follow the buzzards.
Something like that. So I'm wondering how far, if that's gonna not infringe on the gimmick, but having seen that in another place, how is that gonna fit in, or is it gonna hinder how long the gimmick lasts? And on top of that, I was expecting to see them like beating up Kane while they were wearing the masks. You know,
well, I think one of them had the mask on, but when the scuffle started, the mask just popped off. You know,
he had the mask with him.
Yeah, because it was there on the canvas as they were beating up Kane, so it must have fallen off of one of the dudes. I think the guy with the red hair is the one that wears the mask. Yeah. Brody doesn't wear it.
No, okay. So we get past the vignettes here, and then they come out, lights out. Presentation-wise, in the arena, crowd reaction.
I'm surprised they got the reaction they got.
That was a big face pop they got for him.
They did get a big face pop, and I think it's just because people have been anticipating it so much. Yes, they're supposed to be heels, but people wanted to see it because it's been looking so.
Is this going to affect how they're booked?
No, not after the Kane beating. They're heels.
They're heels.
The only thing that this is probably because I didn't watch them on NXT, but the thing that disappointed me a little bit was the fact that if that's the character that Bray Wyatt is gonna have, I was wanting to see him fight. Like him sitting in the rocking chair watching while everything else was happening. I was expecting
him being the puppet master, not in the ring.
Yeah. I was expecting him to be physical. We've seen him be physical as Husky Harris, which the 20, 30 fans in Baltimore fucked it up by chanting his name while the whole thing was going on.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
You know, but I was expecting to see him. I guess it just threw me off that the character.
I was expecting it. I saw him a couple times on NXT. I knew that was pretty much what was going to happen. If it came down to a scuffle or a match, I knew he was just going to be back, and I knew them 2 dudes. I was kind of wanting more. Yeah. I was wanting him to get on the mic or something. I wanted something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like him just jumping Kane wasn't enough.
And plus the finish with the steps to the face, I was like, eh.
Well, I don't know. I thought that was a kind of a cool move.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. A little bit.
Yeah.
If the promos that they were saying said that you should already know by now, or they were dropping off hints in the promo that what they were going to do or why they were doing it, I didn't see any hint that said why they were going to beat up Kane. There had to have been a reason, and was
it random that they attacked Kane, or are they going somewhere against? Are they feuding with him for some godforsaken reason?
What I was expecting to happen was for them to say, "Oh, this is your monster." No, we're the real monsters. We just killed your monster.
That could be it.
I was expecting something like that, but it never came.
Yeah, I wanted something else. I wanted another. Like I said, I wanted a promo. I wanted some kind of explanation of what they're doing.
And I mean,
that's
I guess
going to make you watch next week.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Maybe they did that on purpose so that we'll still be interested in them. But I was expecting for a debut promo and not a debut beatdown.
Yeah,
or a debut match, something that. Yeah, solidifies what they're doing. At least during a debut match, the commentators could explain why, or someone could explain, or something would explain why they are who they are. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we didn't get a debut match or a debut promo, just a beatdown, I don't even know if I'd call that a debut.
Yeah, it's their first appearance, but I don't know if I would say it's a proper debut. But they've been playing around with the way people debut here recently. I mean, look at Fandango's debut. He never really debuted. He just kind of got phased in.
If you want to compare him to the other three-man group, Shield, when they debuted, they just beat down Cena or somebody, and that was it.
That's the only positive I see when I say that it threw me off that Bray Wyatt was in a rocking chair. The only positive I see of that is that it's a great way to not confuse the two groups, because technically the Wyatt family is not a 3-man group. It's a 2-man group and a manager piece on the corner, as opposed to the Shield being a legitimate 3-man threat. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have that visualization, so you can keep the two separate and not think, oh man, we're going to get a 3-man Wyatt against 3-man Shield, because right off the bat, that's the first thing you would think of, because
everybody was thinking that. I saw a lot of comments on that. Yeah.
So that's it did leave me wanting more, and I guess if that was the whole point, like the vignettes made you want more. Like we've been talking about it for weeks. We're ready for you. So, and now that we got them, they did the same thing the vignettes did. It just left us wanting more.
Yeah, and I know that I already said what I thought where they're going with this, but I still want to see why Kane. Why are they going after this? I want to see whether or not I was right. And what they really think that they're doing with this. Like, why Kane? Like, I mean, the only thing that I can think of is what I just said, that they're taking out the biggest monster that's there to establish themselves as monsters. But, I mean, even then, Kane hasn't really been a monster in so long.
I heard one rumor. It's nothing legitimate or anything, but
Travis and his rumors again.
Yeah. Them taking him out to start up a feud with Brothers of Destruction.
Okay, but I think that if Undertaker comes back, he still has beef with S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, he's got to get his receipt from S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think they're past that.
They were past that already.
Yeah. They still bring that up. Whenever the commentators are trying to put over the S.H.I.E.L.D., they'll even say, yeah, you know, this is their yard, and they kicked the Undertaker out of his yard and took it over. Like, they still say that.
Undertaker's not like... He doesn't really hold a grudge or vengeance or anything. He's just like, okay, whatever. He's only there for once a year. I mean, so, I don't know.
All right.
That's just something I heard, you know, so.
Okay.
You hear a lot of things.
I know. They're all in my head.
Shit.
All right. Anything else we want to add or any other insights that we want to talk about from the Wyatts or anything else from WWE programming for this week?
Think they're going to show up at the pay-per-view?
I don't think so. I don't see their place in the pay-per-view. Other than if Kane's still healthy enough to still wrestle in Money in the Bank and they want to take him out again, like, I don't see what their point would be in the pay-per-view. And if Kane's just straight up not going to be at the pay-per-view, well, then the Wyatts really have no reason to be at the pay-per-view. So I don't think so. And that, again, plays into what I was saying last week about why debut the Raw before a pay-per-view, you know, because it's not leading anything into that show. But that's a conversation we've already had.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it then?
I think that's it.
Okay, so nothing else for WWE. We're good.
Oh, we can get another hour or so.
Oh, no. F that. Okay, we're done. Okay. This weekend, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling on Saturday night at the Clear Lake Recreation Center. We're going to have a special guest, MVP, show up again. So that's pretty cool. We get to see, you know, it's rare that he fights here in the States. And it seems like the last couple of times that he has been fighting in the States, it's been here at Booker T's ROW. So that's pretty neat.
That's how special the show is.
It is, indeed. Mm-hmm. So come check it out. Come check us out. We'll be there at the show. And come say hi.
Look first in the blue shirts.
Yes, blue Houston Wrestling Radio shirts. Chris, are you going to make it out there?
I think I need to get my hands on one of those shirts.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll see.
All right.
So come check us out there. And I have a couple of birthdays here that we need to get to.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we do. Arnold, my coworker, it was his birthday this past week. So happy birthday, bro. Hope you had a good one. And yay.
Bro. So he can get that bro motion.
Whew. And then we also have another birthday from a listener.
Promotion.
Oh, you thought I meant something perverted when I said
I don't know
motion?
I don't know. I just got the... Okay, good.
Are you guys done? Okay.
Not yet, but keep going.
Okay.
We'll interrupt you whenever.
Thank you.
Didn't you tell us
Yeah.
off the air that he was a complete and total douche?
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
That
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
I hate his guts. Yeah. Anyway, we have another listener from the land down under from Australia. He had a birthday, I believe it was, I think it was Monday. But I don't know, because they're on a different day there in Australia, right? So our Monday's their Tuesday or something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so they had a birthday here at the beginning of the week. His name is Luke. So, hey, Luke, happy birthday, man. Thanks for listening. Ta-da.
Oi!
Yes. Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah. Let's see what's. Oh boy.
I was waiting for someone to do it. Come on now.
Well, you did it, so there you go. Okay. All right. What else we got here? Narworld Order. They're still doing their back to school tour or out of school tour. I don't know what they're calling it, but they're going on tour here in the area.
Lovely place this guy does.
I know. I do such a great job. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/Narworld Order, and also check them out on Twitter @NarworldOrder. There's some good dudes, do some good music. They do the music for our show, and they're trying to do a lot of stuff here in the indie music scene. So, check these guys out and support them. There's some, good stuff. Also, don't forget about Awesome AG Designs if you need any.
How the hell with Aaron? Next.
Everybody knows about Aaron. Yeah, Awesome AG Designs, whatever. Okay. On Facebook. He designs stuff, drawing and whatnot.
Enough.
Okay, enough. Of course, other podcasts, Wizards Podcast, ShiningWizards.com.
How the hell with them too.
Marking Out at markingout.com.
What have they done for us lately?
I don't know.
The hell with them too.
Okay. And the Pile Driver Podcast at thewrestlingchronicle.com.
They can pile drive each other. The hell with them. Isn't there some kind of podcast that involves
Football?
Yes.
Yes, Stoppage Time with Hero and Hammer.
There we go.
Yeah, they cover the
Not
Houston.
that I'm trying to show any favoritism whatsoever.
Right. They cover the Houston Dynamo and talk about FIFA and football
We respect beards.
yes, they
here.
respect beards.
So.
They're very
They're very beardy.
beard wearing folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I say beard?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I meant to say beard. Beard wearing folk.
See, you're intimidated. You can't
Yeah,
even say it.
I
right.
know. It's just so,
That's what happens when you shave your own beard, you fuck.
I did. I shaved my own beard. I lost my superpowers. I tried to go and rock just the soul patch, but I
As
couldn't
soon
do
as you
it.
said, I tried to rock, you just failed. So
Yeah,
so
it was a
And then
fail.
followed up with Soul Patch.
So now I have like a failed soul patch and a 5 o'clock shadow, and it looks terrible right now. So yeah.
The only
Anyway,
soul patch should be below the equator, son.
who's to say I didn't have one of those too? I'm a soul man. All right. Anyway. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening today, guys. I don't think we're going to have Chris with us next week, so we'll have a reprieve of all the Mexicanness and the craziness.
Oh, hey, real quick. I have to give a shout out to my boy Xavier.
Okay.
He did. He wanted me to let me know, or he's trying to help us out, with certain links to other wrestling things, So there's a podcast out there, the Nerdist podcast, Chris Hardwick.
Right.
I listen.
The Talking Dead.
He has enough hits. He doesn't need more pub from us.
Well,
No.
there's true that, but there's a one show they did a few weeks ago with the dude from True Blood. I don't know if there's any True Blood fans out there, but Joe Mangla or whatever his name is. Anyway, he does.
What was that?
Yeah, that guy. He does
And you're talking about me doing shitty plugs.
Shut the fuck up.
You
Okay.
can't even say the dude's name.
Okay. Well, whatever. Are you letting me do this or not? Anyway, there is. It's
Well, they
wrestling.
do it right.
Okay. Abel, you can't come back. Chris has come back. All right.
Joe Manganiello.
There you go. All right. I don't think I have to put the stank on the Italian like that. But yeah. Anyway,
Molto bene. Nice
he's a big wrestling fan from the 80s and 90s. So he knows a lot of, old school wrestling shit. About 45 minutes into the podcast, he starts doing an incredible Macho Man impersonation.
Better than Jay Lethal?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just asking.
No, you're being a dick right now.
What
So
am I
I'm just
being?
like totally disagreeing with whatever you're saying. So,
So it's worse than Jay Lethal's.
what? No, it's Jesus Christ.
I see now why you need a third person in here.
Thank you. Yes. Anyway, so I'm just saying, go check it out. It's a good podcast. He does some cool shit on the show. So it's wrestling related, Abel. I thought you'd appreciate it.
I know. I'm aware of the Nerdist. It's a good show.
Yeah.
I was just giving you. I wasn't giving the Nerdist shit. I was giving you.
I don't
shit.
care if you give him shit. You were giving me shit.
I was giving you shit because you couldn't pronounce the name.
Yeah, fuck you. All right. Anyway,
that's what that smells like. Yep.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
All right, and let's get the hell out of here. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back again with another, semi-decent episode next week.
I will miss none of you.
Neither will we. No, I'm going to miss you, Chris. A lot. Because I'm going to be stuck with Travis.
You think when this got back? Yeah. Chris, you come back as soon as you can, okay? I need you here, buddy. Yeah.
All right. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy.